This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network. We broadcast from our studios at 6 Bradley Avenue, Kingston 10, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band. 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester, transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Cooper's Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James, serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on the World Wide Web on nationwideradiojm.com and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
A very good morning to you. I'm Tona Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Tuesday, September 24, 2024. The latest NNN Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools reveal that a large number of Jamaicans think the Integrity Commission is mishandling the matter of the illicit six. Security expert Dr. Anthony Clayton says Jamaica is in dire need of political party that is serious about reducing crime. And Deacon Peter Esbute says the opposition party has not shown itself to be a strong alternative to lead the country. In regional news, St. Kitts discusses bilateral cooperation with Saudi Arabia. In international news, death toll from 2 days of Israeli strikes in Lebanon surpasses 500. In sports, the Cayman Islands are set to take on the British Virgin Islands in the CONCACAF Nations League. And in business, Sagicor X Fund announces $10 million Cayman acquisition. The details after the break.
Live exquisite this year with new arrival black and chrome fixtures for your home at Unique Living. Select from a wide variety of rain shower systems, fabulous faucets, and stylish sinks to suit your kitchen and bathrooms. Get uncompromised quality and style unique to you. Shop everything new at Unique Living, Jamaica's leading shower and faucets provider. Visit shop number 630 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10, or call 876-755-3661 to 2.
Attention motorists, it's time to switch to the T-Tag on Highway 2000 East-West. Automated T-Tag lanes reduce the cost of collecting and managing cash at our toll plazas, and drivers of Class 1 and Class 2 vehicles who use the T-Tag pay a lower toll fare than those who use the manually operated toll booths. These motorists also get their 10th trip through any one toll plaza free. The T-Tag makes it quicker, more cost-efficient, and safer for our customers. So switch to the T-Tag today and experience the convenience.
The future of manufacturing is now. Join the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, JMEA, in association with VM Group for an unforgettable evening on September 28, 2024 at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. They're celebrating the industry's brightest minds and the groundbreaking achievements shaping Jamaica's future. Request your tickets at bit.ly/2024 awards tickets or email awards@jmea.org to learn more. Let's witness the future. September 28, 6:30 p.m., the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details.
The nationwide Blue Dot polls, powered by Total Tools. Total Tools, they almost always have it.
A plurality of Jamaicans, nearly 44%, say they do not believe the matter of the illicit six is being handled effectively by the Integrity Commission. That's according to the latest nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools. The poll was conducted between September 6 and 19. It has a margin of error of plus or minus 3%. George Davis has the details.
The matter of the so-called illicit 6 adjusted to the illicit 8 has been a talking point in the country for nearly 2 years running. The matter concerns parliamentarians who are under investigation for illicit enrichment. Members of the opposition PNP and sections of civil society have clamored for those involved to name themselves. The Integrity Commission has maintained that the so-called gag clause in its enabling legislation limits the extent to which it can make public comments about ongoing investigations. It doesn't appear that answer has satisfied Jamaicans. The Blue Dot pollsters asked the sample of 1,246 eligible voters how they feel about the Integrity Commission's handling of the illicit six. 43%, nearly 44% of respondents said they believed the matter of the illicit six was not being handled effectively by the Integrity Commission. 42.6% said they had concerns about the approach of the Integrity Commission. But this cohort of respondents say more time is needed to judge the Commission's effectiveness. Only 10.9% of respondents said they believed the matter of the illicit six was being handled effectively by the Commission. Nearly 3% had a different view of the matter. It should be noted the data collection for the nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools ended 2 days after the Integrity Commission's Director of Investigation, Kevin Stevenson's report into Prime Minister Andrew Holness's financial affairs was tabled in the House of Representatives. George Davis for Nationwide News.
The nationwide Blue Dot polls, powered by Total Tools. Total Tools, they almost always have it.
UWI Professor of Sustainable Development and Security expert Anthony Clayton says Jamaica is in dire need of politicians who are serious about reducing crime and corruption in the country. He was reacting to the latest nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools. Mahira Stewart reports.
The poll, conducted between September 6 and 19, found that crime and corruption are the top two concerns affecting the Jamaican people. Speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday, Professor Clayton says it's clear that most Jamaicans have little confidence that either the governing JLP or the opposition PNP will meaningfully reduce crime.
One of the more alarming trends is that the number of people who actually vote is continuing to decline. So now the great majority of the population, about 2/3, simply don't vote at all. And there is some evidence that this is because people have become so disillusioned, so cynical, and so disaffected, and they don't believe that either party is going to be the one to deal with crime and corruption. I hope, of course, that they are wrong and that one day we will get a party elected that is serious about addressing these issues. But until such time as a political party doesn't just talk the talk but actually delivers, then people, I think, are understandably extremely disaffected about politics.
39% of respondents say crime is the most pressing issue affecting the country. This is a 10 percentage point increase compared to the 29% polled in February 2024. Concerns over corruption have also increased. It moved from 4th in the rankings in February 2024 to 2nd in September. 15% of respondents identified it as a pressing concern. That's compared to 11% in February. It's also the first time since 2021 that corruption has featured among the top two concerns for Jamaicans. Professor Clayton says until political parties remove corrupt persons from public life, they are merely doing lip service to the issue.
The corruption and the allegations of corruption go right to the top of our political system. So to demonstrate that we are really going to leave this horrible problem behind us once and for all, we need a party that is going to take the issue of corruption seriously, first and foremost, and is going to say something like any member of parliament, any politician who is found to be guilty of corruption is going to be expelled from the party. No argument. End of story. We need to get such people out of public life. And until we have political parties that are willing to do that, we will always be struggling with the problems that we've got.
According to Professor Clayton, the party most serious about crime and corruption has the most electoral prospect for success.
If you can persuade the people that for once we have a party that is serious about cleaning up public life, then that party, I think, will take a major part of the two-thirds who do not vote at all.
So the middle classes and the middling classes
who wish this country well and who want to see this country develop. And if they are offered hope, then I think they would vote for the party that offers them hope. We've seen that before in other countries. If you see what Governor Pizarro did in the state of Rio, if you see what Bukele has done in El Salvador, the people who are serious about addressing crime are the ones who then win the subsequent elections.
Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Public commentator Deacon Peter Esbute says the opposition PNP has not shown itself to be a strong alternative to the ruling JLP. He was reacting to the findings of the latest nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools, which indicate that a small majority of Jamaicans believe the Holness administration deserves a third term in office.
I don't believe that the PNP has shown themselves to be a strong alternative. In my columns over the last year or two, I've been saying to the PNP, if you want people to vote for you as opposed to voting against the JLP, you have to give people something to vote for. You have to say what you stand for people to vote for you. If you don't do that, then what you're doing is you're expecting people to just wait for the JLP to implode and to vote against the JLP. And I don't think even after the conference that the PNP has given the electorate adequate stuff to vote for.
Deacon Peter Esbute, a public commentator, he was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday. According to the nationwide Blue Dot polls, 52% say the JLP should get another chance to govern the country. The other 48% of respondents said no. The findings represent a 4 percentage point majority just outside the 3% margin of error. Meanwhile, social media commentator Suel Anglin says the PNP continues to prioritize gimmickry.
I think where the PNP continues to go wrong is that sometimes they have a little bit of substance and they're like heading in the right direction or they have the good foot forward. But somehow I think they almost seem as if they're more interested in being popular and kind of having the word bite of the day, and I think that gets overshadowed by any ounce of effort that they're putting in.
According to Ms. Anglin, substantial arguments raised by the PNP are often overshadowed by the party's own actions.
So we saw it at a lot of the public statements that they have had in recent times. Even if what they present are, something of substance or something, it gets overshadowed by them trying to be popular within this public space. And I think that is where they continue to go wrong. It makes the party seem as if there's no substance. It makes the party seem like they are more about gimmicks and less about substance. And I think young people are starting to pick up on that. And I think what the JLP has started to do well is that they have started to improve their communication.
Suel Anglin, social media commentator, she was also speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday. In the meantime, a public commentator Dr. Nadine Spence is hailing what she says is the growing number of women becoming fully engaged in political matters.
Globally, women are participating more in politics and are voting more, and they're also more in support of the parties in power. And I think post-COVID, we're seeing women more decided in respect of issues that I wish in Jamaica we would break down to see what are the issues. We usually talk about a women's political agenda.
According to the nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools, 54% of female voters said Prime Minister Andrew Holness should lead Jamaica beyond 2025. On the flip side, 46% of women voters want Holness and his government gone. This is compared to the evenly divided sentiment among men, with 50% saying no to a third term and 50% saying yes. Dr. Spence says attractiveness is also a deciding factor for women when voting in an election.
And a matter of just sheer good looks. If you remember, there was a conversation that was in the public already about who looked better and who dressed better and who women felt that their looks alone would cause them to vote, and it was Andrew Holness. And so women also vote for the contestant who they think is more attractive. So attractiveness is also a part of it. So that could be one of the explanations as to why women are turning out, are indicating that they would prefer to vote for the Prime Minister.
Dr. Nadine Spence, a public commentator. There was gridlock along sections of the newly built Southern Coastal Highway Monday night as heavy rains left sections of the multi-billion-dollar roadway flooded and impassable. Scores of motorists had to abandon their cars in waist-high water as several vehicles shut off amid the heavy downpour. It appeared the drainage system along the highway could not accommodate the volume of water which quickly accumulated on the roadway. It's understood sections of Harborview and Bull Bay were impassable for up to an hour. At least one motorist was forced to take refuge on the top of his vehicle in the vicinity of Copacabana in Bull Bay as the floodwaters rose around him. The Met Office says a flash flood watch for low-lying and flood-prone areas of southern and northwestern parishes remains in effect. Residents of St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrews, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney are being encouraged to stay alert. The flash flood watch is expected to remain in effect until 5 p.m. today. An area of disturbed weather associated with a broad trough across the Western Caribbean is producing moderate to strong thunderstorm activity across the island. Minister with responsibility for works, Robert Morgan, says a broad consensus has been reached between the government and the Incorporated Master Builders Association of Jamaica on payment concerns surrounding the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project, SHIP.
The government is not a party to the contract between the local contractors and China Harbour, but we are the owners of the big contract, which is the South Coast Highway Improvement Project. So we have an interest in ensuring that there is good relation between our local contractors and the foreign investors. So the master builders came together with us as to how we would approach resolving the issues. China Harbour has expressed that they are very much interested in resolving the issues. They have had negotiations and discussions with several of the contractors and have had a resolution. Where we are going now is to ensure that those resolutions with the other contractors are fast-tracked so they can be proper assessment of what they're due and proper assessment of the solutions to the conflicts that they have between each other so that we can come to a very speedy resolution.
Contractors working on the highway previously complained about outstanding payments amounting to several $1 million. Minister Morgan last week chaired a meeting to find a solution to the concerns with IMAJ President Richard Mullings and his team. He says it's in the best interest of the country to resolve the issues plaguing the contractors.
The government's primary interest is to ensure that there is a collaboration between overseas investors and local trade. It makes no sense for us to spend significant amounts of tax dollars on these projects, but the local industry does not feel that they are an important part of the enterprise. We have been very clear to the main contractor that it is in the interest, their interest, as well as the interest of the country as a whole, that these issues are resolved. And we have also been very clear to the local contractors about the importance of negotiation and discussion.
Robert Morgan, Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. He has responsibility for the works portfolio. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
Tie your laces, put on something purple, and support the CIBC Caribbean Walk for the Cure. Join us at Hope Gardens on Sunday, October 6th at 6 a.m. We're walking, running, and moving in the fight against cancer. Sign up today at runningeventsja.com. Registration fee $3,000 includes your Walk for the Cure t-shirt while supplies last. CIBC Walk for the Cure, Sunday, October 6th, 6 a.m. at Hope Gardens. All proceeds in aid of the Jamaica Cancer Society.
Eliminate the hassle of managing multiple medications that can be confusing. Thanks to Horton's Pharmacy. Introducing RX Pack, a mobile app available in the App Store and Google Play Store. RX Pack is specially designed for you to order and manage your medications. Download today for free. That's RX Pack for better medication management. Call 876-RX-0-RX-RX or visit our website, hortonsrx.com for more details.
In regional and international news, St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew has held bilateral discussions with the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Saudi Arabia. The discussion took place on Sunday at the Permanent Mission of Saudi Arabia to the United Nations in New York. The St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service says the talks focused on the outcomes of the CARICOM Saudi Summit, which was held in October 2023. The leaders reportedly explored avenues of joint action to advance sustainability and enhance resilience in response to global challenges. Dr. Drew and a delegation, which includes the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Denzel Douglas, are in New York to attend the United Nations General Assembly. He is expected to deliver his address during the afternoon session on September 27. To international now, Israel and Hezbollah traded strikes again on Tuesday as the death toll from a massive Israeli bombardment climbed to nearly 560 people. Thousands fled from southern Lebanon, with the two sides on the brink of all-out war. The Israeli military said Tuesday morning that 55 rockets were fired from Lebanon into northern Israel, setting fires and damaging buildings. Military officials said they carried out dozens of airstrikes on Hezbollah targets, including on a cell that fired rockets overnight and that tanks and artillery struck targets near the border. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
Best dressed chicken, Vienna sausages with no antibiotics. Everything you want in a tin. Nothing you don't want can't find in a it. Take a look at the best value. Where you cook, Vienna me a look. Only the best around. Only the best around. Only the best dress, best taste, best value, best place. Best dress, yeah, Vienna. Best dressed chicken, Vienna sausages ever. 100% chicken, straight Jamaican I eat.
Azen Super Center in Midtown Crossroads, a place you've come to know and trust for quality and the best prices. Now, come see our expanded range of products, fine furnishings, kitchenware, your smart TVs, and all things electronics, and the latest in curtains, bed linen, and bathroom accessories. It's the new and expanded Azen Super Center in Midtown Crossroads with convenient, safe, and free parking. Shop with a smile at Azen Super Center.
Here's to the early risers, and we are here all-nighters. The go the extra milers, and let's do it until it works. Workers. People who are powerful because they power through day after day, challenge after challenge. You see, true power, it's not something you can buy or collect. It is something that starts on the inside, and you always know it when you see it. Sunshine Snack Peanuts. Proud supporters of the powerful.
Energize your life the right way with DBJ. Yeah, you must can save enough energy solution. Choose one today for your house or your business. Money I go save. Yeah, DBJ. DBJ. Energize your life the right way. The Development Bank of Jamaica Limited is here to help you with the purchase and installation of renewable energy systems to help you save on your energy bill. Contact your business banker or bank today. Energize your business or home the right way with DBJ Energy Loan.
Time now for your morning sports report. The Cayman Islands will tackle British Virgin Islands in Group C, League C of the CONCACAF Nations League match at Warner Park in St. Kitts and Nevis on October 12. This is the second time both teams are meeting in the competition this season. In the first match, the Cayman Islands came away 1-0 winners thanks to an 84th minute strike from Elijah Seymour. Speaking with the Nationwide's Alric Swaby, head coach of the Cayman Islands, Joey Japthong, says his players must be more clinical.
We have to finish better, because if you have watched the game, we could have won with 3-0, and they didn't really have much chances. And especially what I also said is the sublime end pass. The sublime end pass, we have to do it better. The sublime end pass, that's the pass before the finishing. That's how we call it back in Holland and Belgium.
Joey Japthong, head coach of the Cayman Islands. President of Cricket West Indies, CWI, Dr. Kishore Shallow, is set to represent the opposition New Democratic Party in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Veteran commentator Joseph Reds Pereira says Dr. Shallow could get an early chance to sit in Parliament as MP for the constituency of North Leawood.
The seat is now held by the incumbent Dr. Ralph Gonzalez government. It's held by the Minister of Tourism, Carlos James. James won the seat by one vote on a recount in the last elections. The next scheduled election is for November 2025, but that could be brought forward to a snap elections.
Pereira says Dr. Shallow has ambitions to eventually become Prime Minister.
Dr. Shallow is also interested in challenging for the leadership of the opposition party. It'll be interesting to find out how many other people involved in the office of the president of the West Indies Board have got into elective politics.
Joseph Reds Pereira wrapping up your morning sports.
Need to send items locally? Now there's a better way. Zipmail, a safe, reliable, and affordable courier service island-wide. Delays are a thing of the past. Save time. Zipmail will send it in a flash. We offer door-to-door pickup and delivery by the next business day. You can track the progress of your item every step of the way. Choose Zipmail and let us deliver your next package or item now. Just zip it and forget it. A product of Jamaica Post.
In business this morning, Sagicor Real Estate X Fund Limited has announced the acquisition of a block of units at the Strand Shopping Centre. The shopping centre is a prime commercial complex located by 7 Mile Beach in Grand Cayman. X Fund has acquired the units for $10 million. In a release to the media, X Fund noted that the units are a diverse mix of well-known brands, including restaurants, banking services, and other key retail services which support the local tourism market. Chairman of X Fund, Howard Mitchell, says the purchase is a milestone in the entity's strategy to diversify its portfolio across strong, buoyant real estate markets. The acquisition complements X Fund's existing portfolio, which includes the DoubleTree by Hilton Hotel at the entrance of Universal Orlando. China's central bank has unveiled a major package of measures aimed at reviving the country's flagging economy. The measures include the lowering of borrowing costs and permitting banks to increase their lending. The move comes after a series of disappointing data increased expectations in recent months that the world's second largest economy will miss its own 5% growth target this year. Stock markets in Asia jumped after the announcement. At a rare news conference, the central bank announced it would cut the amount of cash banks have to hold in reserve, known as Reserve Requirement Ratios, RRR. The RRR will initially be cut by half a percentage point in a move expected to free up about $142 billion. Further measures aimed to boost China's crisis-hit property market include cutting interest rates for existing mortgages and lowering minimum down payments on all types of homes to 15%. Finally now, in foreign exchange trading, the Jamaican dollar will open trading this morning, selling for an average $157.91 against the benchmark U.S. dollar. The Jamaican dollar opens trading today, selling for an average $117.65 against the Canadian. And finally, the Jamaican will open trading today, selling for an average $211.54 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
Clearing personal, non-commercial shipments at the port? Avoid the wait. Request a contactless clearance through your agent today. It's more efficient. It's secure. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
6:30.
A time to double up your savings. These are the boosts that you've been awaiting. Put it towards the dreams you've been chasing. Double up your savings. Double up.
Save so you can win in the Jan Bank Double Up Your Savings promotion. You could be one of 5 lucky quarterly winners to walk away with double the money you put in your savings account. Conditions apply.
Double up your savings.
Check our website and social media for details. Jan Bank will help you find a way. Authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10 or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice in the electrical business.
Here's to the early risers, and we are here all-nighters. The Go the Extra Milers, and let's do it until it works. Workers. People who are powerful because they power through. Day after day. Challenge after challenge. You see, true power, it's not something you can buy or collect. It is something that starts on the inside, and you always know it when you see it. Sunshine Snack Peanuts, proud supporters of the powerful.
Learning can be fun. Reignite your passion for learning with the Jamaica Observer Online Study Center. Achieve your academic dreams and log on to complimentary CSEC and CAPE lessons tailored for your success in higher education. With over 9 subjects available online, the Study Center has you covered. Jump back into excellence this school term by checking out the Jamaica Observer Online Study Center each and every Tuesday at jamaicaobserver.com/study center.
Best dressed chicken Vienna sausages with no antibiotics. Everything you want in a tin. Nothing you don't want can't find in a it. Take a look at the best value. Where you cook Vienna me a look. Only the best around. Only the best around. Only the best dress, best taste, best value, best place. Best dress, get Vienna. Best dressed chicken Vienna sausages ever. 100% chicken straight Jamaican I eat.
Attention motorists. It's time to switch to the T-Tag on Highway 2000 East West. The T-Tag system reduces the amount of cash handled at our toll plazas and makes it safer for our staff and motorists at the toll booths. The T-Tag makes it quicker, more cost-efficient, and safer for our customers. So switch to the T-Tag today and experience the convenience. T-Tag packages are discounted to only $1,500, including a $500 toll credit from now until September 30.
On my head top, not at all.
And if you know me, you know say I know.
No,
put no trouble on my back.
Oh.
No, oh, no worry about that. Cha-cha rise me out of my bed. I mean, go river and go wash my dread. Me alright, alright.
Tell you my alright.
I'm said cha-cha sunrise wake me up this morning, and I can hear Mama Africa calling.
I got to give the most high praise. From me see the lid them on both eyes raised. Breathing the breath of life, so I pray to still I see I for watch over those like we.
Yeah.
Smile with the rising sun. The creation me never hiding from. No negativity up in our high kingdom. Mama Africa, your child to come.
I'm such a rise me out of my bed. I mean, go river and go wash my dread. Me alright, alright.
No.
I'm said Jaja sunrise wake me up this morning, and I can hear Mama Africa calling. Alright, alright. I tell you me alright, yeah.
What a sweet summer day. Mother Earth, you I am free from a day. Me choose some carrot and beet and eat a jelly. Then dipping at the river cause me feel figure bed.
I wash off the crosses off of me. Sweet life King Selassie off of me. Never be ungrateful, no people go sleep and they never wake up. But Jaja rise me out of my bed. I mean, go river and go wash my dread. Me alright, alright. I'm said Jaja sunrise wake me up this morning, and I can hear Mama Africa calling. Alright, alright. I tell you me alright, yeah.
Breeze a blow and my vibes just a bill. Anytime I see the sunlight I climb up the hill. Now I'm no work so I time for me chill. Some whole a meditation and trying to be still. Visions of Mama Africa I float by. Even though you're far I feel you close by. The mysteries of life I seek to know why. Healing the most
rise me out of my bed. I mean, go river and go wash my dread. Me alright, alright. I'm said Jaja sunrise wake me up this morning, and I can hear Mama Africa calling. Alright, alright. I tell you me alright, yeah. I say me alright. Kabaka pyramid, babe.
Good morning to you. Good morning to you. You are tuned in to Nationwide this morning. NTM, the big show. Thank you so much for coming on over and joining us this Tuesday morning. It is Tuesday, September 24, 2024. I'm Tona Thomas.
And my name is George. Good morning, Tona.
Hey to you, George.
Good.
Can I ask you, did you sleep well?
Yeah, man. Did you sleep well?
I did sleep well.
Nice.
Yeah, lots of rain last evening. We're reporting this morning that there were some issues on the Southern Coastal Highway. Hope that has been dealt with. The NWA and the contractors, George, may need to go back out there and look at what's happening. Although it is true, after heavy rain like that, that's the downpour for, an extended period of time. Drains, you can't do a whole lot about it. Yeah, it's gonna overflow anyway. So, but they can still go and take a look at what's happening. Why it is that you had people with water up to their waist.
Mm-hmm.
They said,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, what's happening out there. But my parents yesterday saying that was as if there was a storm too. So it was Sunday, and then the same thing from Monday. Met Service saying these unstable weather conditions may persist until about Thursday.
Water more than flow.
That's a good way of putting it. But the weather is not what's on my mind this morning, although some might say, these kind of findings put them under the weather. But on my mind this morning, so Nationwide has begun its reporting on the findings of its latest nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools that were conducted from September 6 to 19. And I note, George, that there's already a lot of discussion around this matter of the direction of the country. And the poll, as many of you know, has returned a finding that 44% of the electorate, eligible voters, believe the country is heading in the wrong direction. While not a majority of eligible voters are of this view, a plurality of them think so. And it was the same 44% who registered the similar view when the poll was conducted earlier this year in February. But it is also the stability that the poll finding has registered for February and now in September, 44%, could mean a sigh of relief, George, for the government, that the sentiment has not dramatically shifted for the worse. But it is also no place that they should find comfort, because it also means the sentiments about the leadership's direction is also not getting any better. So there is the cause to pause and reevaluate whatever disconnect there might be between the leadership this administration has given, the roadmap it has articulated, and why also 29% of Jamaicans are unsure about it. So 29% unsure about that direction, and why or how it can redouble its efforts to convince the 44% who outright say the country is heading in the wrong direction. So they have two set of people to focus on: that 29% who are unsure about the country's direction, and the 44% who outrightly say the country is heading in the wrong direction. Because I'll say, George, it is true that there's plenty that this government has done. And if I were to call any spokesperson, George, from the JLP, they'd easily use our entire show and try to reiterate to Jamaicans a never-ending list of projects, social goodwill, and its leadership on the macroeconomic front. And it's true that many supporters of this administration are already pushing back against the poll findings and this 44%. Look at what the government has done. But what do you mean the country is heading in the wrong direction? That will be their question, and they have a point. Wrong direction could mean something different to me, to you, to Jermaine, to my parents, a PNP supporter, the JLP supporter, as they've been arguing, Mark Golding, and Prime Minister Holness. However, this group of Jamaicans who are eligible to vote have told you what wrong direction has been narrowed down to mean for them. They said the state of crime in the country is of concern to them. Corruption is now weighing heavier at number 2 as a reason for thinking the country is heading in the wrong direction, and the cost of living. Again, I hear those that will argue of not seeing investments this plenty in the capacity of the security forces and the welfare of the members who serve and protect. Some, as I heard last night, will quote the encouraging statistics of major crimes going down, and those are fair points. But was it last week we reported on Manchester, a churchgoer in Manchester who cannot attend his or her church meetings, and a businessman who cannot open beyond dusk is not completely focused on the stats and the investments. They want to feel safe to go about doing what should be regular everyday activities. Right. And earning more to match the cost of living that they're also concerned about. And when that is significantly interrupted, that becomes a problem for them, and without dramatic fixes, you end up with statistics like this where people think crime is at their doorstep, and that direction of things makes them put their tick in the wrong column instead of in the right column of where Jamaica is heading. I think the duty of the administration is still, as much as we say this over and over again, George, and I like the position that the posture they have taken on this matter so far, is to redouble their efforts of reassuring and keeping its hands on the wheel. That may mean further engagement with those who serve and a rolling out of even more to fight the crime monster. And sometimes leadership, George, means simply showing up and showing that you haven't forgotten people's plights. And if you have to hammer that home daily, on the ground, the national security minister, or your other representatives that speak on this matter, then you have to do that. So be it. On the matter of corruption, where is that? Number 2. The bone is always thrown at politicians. Understandably, politicians have done some shady things. So the perception of corruption in Jamaica, the way in which it is regarded, understood, interpreted in the country, is always measured against politicians. Growing up, I've never seen a time where people are talking about corruption and it's not how they speak about it. Politicians are so corrupt. This administration will argue that it has responded positively to the matter of corruption, removing members who were so accused of that. But the issue of how politicians are seen, I think, has gotten new legs because of how the matters being probed by the Integrity Commission have been bantered about in the public domain. It has been established that though folks will express their frustration with corruption, it's not a heavily weighted matter for those who do turn up to the polls too. If it is that it concerns us so much that we are putting it as number 2 in our list of concerns and why we believe the country is headed in the wrong direction, then we should register that too in how we vote, how many of us will vote, how actively we work to rid the country of corruption as well. Importantly too, George, the matter of corruption perception and Jamaica's corruption direction is a matter, or is not a matter, that should be thrown only at the feet of politicians. We should all take a look in the mirror. How are you handling your affairs when interacting with agencies around the country, whether public or private? There are high levels of corruption daily among the citizens who themselves are calling for an end to corruption. But they do it and want to get away with it, but the politicians should face the consequences. How about everybody should face the consequences of being corrupt? If we're concerned about the direction the country is heading in based on corruption as one of those primary factors, then the matter should be addressed at all levels, because you're a part of the problem too. Pot cannot continue to cause kettle. That's what's on my mind.
Resolve your conflict peacefully with restorative justice. Call 876-906-4923. The time by the Ministry of Justice is
6:47.
Just touch down on the island. Popeye's wings and style. Roll up in at the venue. Brand new thing on the menu. Wing the alarm for the ghost pepper. Nice. On the barbecue and the sweet and spicy. Wing the alarm, flavor them take off. Yo. Popeye's wings are the right pre. See them so we do. Popeye's wings touchdown in Jamaica. Bag of flavors. Brand new thing on the menu. Roll up in the venue. Tell them a style of send you. Love that chicken from Popeye.
My Mega Mart, best value by far.
With so much to do in one location, make Mega Mart your one-stop shop. Pick up your groceries and houseware needs. Grab a bite and pay some bills. Fill your prescriptions and see the beauty products in our pharmacy. All in one amazing location. My Mega Mart, the best value by far.
My Mega Mart, best value by far.
Discover the magic of the Mona Library during Library Open Week 2024. Help celebrate with faculty members and students during this signature event, Celebration of Books, which will showcase scholarships coming out of the Mona campus. Discover cutting-edge digital tools that will enhance your professional development skills through their e-resource fair. Come on out, connect, unlock new opportunities, and dive into the world of knowledge. Discover, learn, succeed. October 13 to 17, 2024 at the Mona Library.
We can light up your world with the rays of the sun, putting pure energy in the palm of your hand.
For over 20 years, Fosrich has been putting a world of energy in your hands. Now we bring you big savings with our line of solar energy products and LED lighting. Financing now available for all your home and commercial retrofit projects. Consult with our in-house staff or certified professional engineers for all your electrical needs. Fosrich Lifestyle. It's electric. Fosrich, your energy world.
Best dressed chicken, Vienna sausages with no antibiotics. Everything you want in a tin. Nothing you don't want can't find in a it. Take a look at the best value. Where you cook, Vienna me a look. Only the best around. Only the best around. Only the best dress, best taste, best value, best place. Best dress, yeah, Vienna. Best dressed chicken, Vienna sausages ever. 100% chicken, straight Jamaican I eat.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Street Smarts 1 with Ludlow McLean is up on us now. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning, George. Morning, Tona.
Hey, to you, Ludlow.
Morning to our listeners, the motoring public, everyone tuned in. We know it's overcast. We see heavy clouds and dark clouds and, different descriptions. And I tell you, from as early as 5 o'clock, the roadways were busy. Well, the major ones, though, mainly on the Mandela, on the Boulevard, on the Spanish Town Road. And it continues to be so. There's also the regular traffic coming off the foot of Red Hills, heading towards Meadowbrook and onto Red Hills Road, going in the vicinity of the overpass. We have Dunrobin and Constance and Dunrobin and Washington Boulevard, and then heading out from Dunrobin towards Constance Street. You're going to have bumper-to-bumper traffic, and coming down further into Half a Tree Square, it is already building. South Odeon Avenue also has traffic from early this morning. Comes across into the Half a Tree Square area. In the vicinity of Hope Road, it's the same thing. Coming into the vicinity of the club, so you're not going to escape it. And remember, solid problems is the pools of water and pockets of water. You can't really check. You're not really certain if you're going to hit the potholes, so vehicles are slowing down, and that's what's causing some of the major problems. And other places that is building early is around Barbican Road, yes? Coming off Arcadia Drive, coming off Bird Circle Lane, onto Barbican Road, and all these areas, the traffic is just building at the moment, and then going around the East Kings Road. And if you're coming from the Whitcomb area, the same thing going around Barbican Road to get onto either Hope or Old Hope Road, respectively. So the traffic is built, and it has built up significantly as early as this morning. So no doubt the traffic flow will continue as we progress during the course of the morning. So it's over to you, George.
Thank you, Ludlow. Ludlow McLean there with the Street Smarts 1. Up next, the word of the day.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Your word of the day, spelled B-U-N-G-A-L-O-W, spelled B-U-N-G-A-L-O-W.
Bungalow. Bungalow. Bungalow.
Bungalow is your word of the day. It's a noun and it means a one-story cottage. Bungalow is your word of the day, meaning a one-story cottage. And dictionary.com is telling us this morning that bungalow was first recorded between 1670 and 1680, between 1670 and 1680. And to use bungalow in a sentence, we rented a small bungalow for the weekend getaway. Another for you. They spent their summer vacation in a cozy bungalow by the beach. Bungalow is your word of the day, simply meaning a one-story cottage. Up next, your features at the top of the hour, the news.
If you're looking for the best food for period cramps, choose light, healthy fruits and vegetables that won't be heavy in your stomach. Fruits and veggies, whole grains, legumes, nuts and seeds can help decrease inflammation in the body and can help menstrual cramps. The great news is, the best foods for period cramps can often be found in your fridge. In Food for Thought today, foods to try help reduce menstrual cramps. Top of the list is bananas. Bananas are great for menstrual cramps. They are rich in fiber and will help you have easy bowel movements. As a result, you may feel less bloated and experience less pain overall. Bananas also contain a lot of magnesium, which is known to reduce the severity of period cramps. Lemons. Lemons are rich in vitamins, particularly vitamin C, which helps your body absorb iron from your food into your bloodstream and tissues. Because you may be losing more red blood cells than your body can keep up with during your period, it may be helpful to have some extra vitamin C to boost iron absorption. Lemons also contain a lot of fiber, which makes them a good food for preventing muscle spasms. Oranges. Oranges are known as a top food for period cramps. They contain more vitamin C than lemons, magnesium, potassium, and vitamin D. All these nutrients may help relieve period cramps and menstrual pain. Watermelon. Watermelon is light and sweet. They quickly hydrate your body and add small amounts of natural sugars into your bloodstream, which might help with cramping. Broccoli. Broccoli is one of the top foods that help with menstrual cramps. The fiber and iron in broccoli help fight the pain. These nutrients might help with all menstrual pain, particularly in your lower abdomen. Kale. Among the other healthy foods that relieve cramps, kale is also a great option. Kale is a good food for period cramps for the same reason as broccoli and other greens. It is rich in calcium and magnesium. Having a calcium deficiency can increase muscle spasms and contractions. You can saute kale or add it to a smoothie. Either way, this vegetable might help boost your immune system and ease cramping pains. And not to be left out are some drinks that will help to ease menstrual cramps. Topping that list is water. You lose some of the water in your body when you bleed, and your pain can become worse when your body becomes dehydrated. Drinking enough water might help your muscles relax and help you avoid bloating and gas. Chamomile. Chamomile tea has anti-inflammatory properties, while further reducing cramping pains. It may also help with your mood, as it has a soothing impact on the nervous system. Ginger tea. In addition to easing cramping pains, ginger tea can also help with nausea and bloating. Raspberry leaf tea. Raspberry leaf tea is not only tasty, but it also has anti-inflammatory properties that might help reduce period cramps. Smoothies. Apple and spinach smoothies contain plenty of iron and magnesium, which are both responsible for nourishing the body quickly and relieving cramps and fatigue. During your period, you can experience fatigue, and it's good to have as many foods as possible that are rich in iron and fiber, like leafy greens. Magnesium found in bananas and some leafy greens can help relax your muscles, including your uterus. Mixing your favorite period-friendly fruits and veggies into a nourishing smoothie should definitely be on your to-do list. That's Food for Thought today. Next week, foods to avoid when having menstrual cramps.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
Almost everyone has a cell phone these days. Texting, calling, and all the fun things that come with them make us very connected to our phones. But should we call and text each other all the time? Hi, I'm Tana. On Lifestyle Pages today, when is the appropriate time to call our friends and acquaintances? One should not call before 9 a.m. or after 9 p.m. or during the dinner hour. But it's best you know the habits of your friends. For example, what if your friend is someone who works very early hours, then they will be more receptive to calls in the afternoon. Some offices are flexible and allow workers to use their phones. But for those who have strict policies on cell phone use, try to be understanding and not call during work hours. Here's a tip. You can send a text message, and when the person is available, then they can respond. Stay-at-home moms would also appreciate a call during the day, as it would be at that time they would have gotten most of their activities out of the way. This way, everyone is able to catch up on the latest happenings. We all love to communicate, so let's try to be reasonable to everyone. I'm Tana. Catch you next time for Lifestyle Pages.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
From Negril Point to Morant Bay, a little kindness can go a far way. The time by the Jamaica Information Service is...
News time, 7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore. Kingston Normal Bay. The temperature by National Supply is
27 degrees Celsius in both Kingston and Montego Bay.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 this morning, Tuesday, September 24, 2024, the latest NNN Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools reveal that a large number of Jamaicans think the Integrity Commission is mishandling the matter of the illicit six. Security expert Dr. Anthony Clayton says Jamaica is in dire need of politicians who are serious about reducing crime. And Deacon Peter Espute says the opposition PNP has not shown itself to be a strong alternative to the JLP. In international news, death toll from 2 days of Israeli strikes in Lebanon nears the 600 mark.
News at 7 is brought to you by Fosrich, your electrical, lighting, solar, and LED people.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
A plurality of Jamaicans, nearly 44%, say they do not believe the matter of the illicit six is being handled effectively by the Integrity Commission.
The Nationwide Blue Dot polls, powered by Total Tools. Total Tools, they almost always have it.
The poll was conducted between September 6 and 19. It has a margin of error of plus or minus 3%. The matter of the so-called illicit six, adjusted to the illicit eight, has been a talking point in the country for nearly 2 years running. The matter concerns parliamentarians who are under investigation for illicit enrichment. Members of the opposition PNP and sections of civil society have clamored for those involved to name themselves. The Integrity Commission has maintained that the so-called gag clause in its enabling legislation limits the extent to which it can make public comments about ongoing investigations. It doesn't appear that answer has satisfied Jamaicans. The Blue Dot pollsters asked the sample of 1,246 eligible voters how they feel about the Integrity Commission's handling of the illicit six. Nearly 44% of respondents said they believed the matter of the illicit six was not being handled effectively by the Integrity Commission. 42.6% said they had concerns about the approach of the Integrity Commission. But this cohort of respondents say more time is needed to judge the Commission's effectiveness. Only 10.9% of respondents said they believed the matter of the illicit six was being handled effectively by the Commission. Nearly 3% had a different view of the matter. It should be noted that the data collection for the nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools ended 2 days after the Integrity Commission's Director of Investigation, Kevin Stevenson's report into Prime Minister Andrew Holness's financial affairs was tabled in the House of Representatives. George Davis for Nationwide News.
The nationwide Blue Dot polls, powered by Total Tools. Total Tools, they almost always have it.
Security expert and a professor of sustainable development at the Mona campus of the University of the West Indies, Anthony Clayton, says Jamaica is in dire need of politicians who are serious about reducing crime and corruption in the country. He was reacting to the latest nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools. Mahiri Stewart reports.
The poll, conducted between September 6 and 19, found that crime and corruption are the top two concerns affecting the Jamaican people. Speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday, Professor Clayton says it's clear that most Jamaicans have little confidence that either the governing JLP or the opposition PNP will meaningfully reduce crime.
One of the more alarming trends is that the number of people who actually vote is continuing to decline. So now the great majority of the population, about 2/3, simply don't vote at all. And there is some evidence that this is because people have become so disillusioned, so cynical, and so disaffected, and they don't believe that either party is going to be the one to deal with crime and corruption. I hope, of course, that they are wrong and that one day we will get a party elected that is serious about addressing these issues. But until such time as a political party doesn't just talk the talk but actually delivers, then people, I think, are understandably extremely disaffected about politics.
39% of respondents say crime is the most pressing issue affecting the country. This is a 10 percentage point increase compared to the 29% polled in February 2024. Concerns over corruption have also increased. It moved from 4th in the rankings in February 2024 to 2nd in September. 15% of respondents identified it as a pressing concern. That's compared to 11% in February. It's also the first time since 2021 that corruption has featured among the top two concerns for Jamaicans. Professor Clayton says until political parties remove corrupt persons from public life, they are merely doing lip service to the issue.
The corruption and the allegations of corruption go right to the top of our political system. So to demonstrate that we are really going to leave this horrible problem behind us once and for all, we need a party that is going to take the issue of corruption seriously, first and foremost, and is going to say something like any member of parliament, any politician who is found to be guilty of corruption is going to be expelled from the party. No argument. End of story. We need to get such people out of public life. And until we have political parties that are willing to do that, we will always be struggling with the problems that we've got.
According to Professor Clayton, the party most serious about crime and corruption has the most electoral prospect for success.
If you could persuade the people that for once we have a party that is serious about cleaning up public life, then that party, I think, will take a major part of the 2/3 who do not vote at all. There
so
are
the middle classes and the middling classes
who wish this country well and who want to see this country develop. And if they are offered hope, then I think they would vote for the party that offers them hope. We've seen that before in other countries. If you see what Governor Pizarro did in the state of Rio, if you see what Bukele has done in El Salvador, the people who are serious about addressing crime are the ones who then win the subsequent elections.
Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Public commentator Deacon Peter Espute says the opposition PNP has not shown itself to be a strong alternative to the ruling JLP. He was reacting to the findings of the latest nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools, which indicate that a small majority of Jamaicans believe the Holness administration deserves a third term in office.
I don't believe that the PNP has shown themselves to be a strong alternative. In my columns over the last year or two, I've been saying to the PNP, if you want people to vote for you as opposed to voting against the JLP, You have to give people something to vote for. You have to say what you stand for people to vote for you. If you don't do that, then what you're doing is you're expecting people to just wait for the JLP to implode and to vote against the JLP. And I don't think even after the conference that the PNP has given the electorate adequate stuff to vote for.
Deacon Peter Espute, public commentator, speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday. The latest poll findings show that 52% of respondents say the JLP should get another chance to govern the country. The other 48% of respondents said no. The findings represent a 4 percentage point majority, just outside the margin of error of 3%. Meanwhile, social media commentator Suel Anglin says the PNP continues to prioritize gimmickry.
I think where the PNP continues to go wrong is that sometimes they have a little bit of substance and they're like heading in the right direction or they have the good foot forward. But somehow I think they almost seem as if they're more interested in being popular and kind of having the word bite of the day, and I think that gets overshadowed by any ounce of effort that they're putting in.
According to Ms. Anglin, substantial arguments raised by the PNP are often overshadowed by the party's own actions.
So we saw it at a lot of the public stagings that they have had in recent times. Even if what they present are, something of substance or something, it gets overshadowed by them trying to be popular within this public space. And I think that is where they continue to go wrong. It makes the party seem as if there's no substance. It makes the party seem like they are more about gimmicks and less about substance. And I think young people are starting to pick up on that. And I think what the JLP has started to do well is that they have started to improve their communication.
Also speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday. In the meantime, public commentator Dr. Nadine Spence is hailing what she says is the growing number of women becoming fully engaged in political matters.
Globally, women are participating more in politics and are voting more, and they're also more in support of the parties in power. And I think post-COVID, we're seeing women more decided in respect of issues that I wish in Jamaica we would break down to see what are the issues. We usually talk about a women's political agenda.
According to the latest Nationwide Blue Dot poll, powered by Total Tools, 54% of female voters said Prime Minister Andrew Holness should lead Jamaica beyond 2025. On the flip side, 46% of women want Holness and his government gone. This is compared to the evenly divided sentiment among men, where 50% say no to a third term and 50% say yes. Dr. Spence says attractiveness is also a deciding factor for women when voting in an election.
And a matter of just sheer good looks. If you remember, there was a conversation that was in the public already about who looked better and who dressed better and who women felt that their looks alone would cause them to vote, and it was Andrew Holness. And so women also vote for the contestant who they think is more attractive. So attractiveness is also a part of it. So that could be one of the explanations as to why women are indicating that they would prefer to vote for the Prime Minister.
Dr. Nadine Spence, public commentator. There was gridlock along sections of the newly built Southern Coastal Highway on Monday night as heavy rains left sections of the multi-billion-dollar roadway flooded and impassable. Scores of motorists had to abandon their vehicles in waist-high water as several vehicles shut off amid the heavy downpour. It appeared the drainage system along the highway could not accommodate the volume of water which quickly accumulated. It's understood sections of Harborview and Bull Bay were impassable for up to an hour. At least one motorist was forced to take refuge on top of his vehicle in the vicinity of Copacabana in Bull Bay as the flood waters rose around him. The Met Service says a flash flood watch for low-lying and flood-prone areas of southern and northwestern parishes remains in effect. Residents of St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James and Trelawney are being encouraged to stay alert. The flash flood watch is set to remain in effect until 5 p.m. on Tuesday. An area of disturbed weather associated with a broad trough across the Western Caribbean is producing moderate to strong thunderstorm activity across the island. The Minister with responsibility for works, Robert Morgan, says a broad consensus has been reached between the government and the Incorporated Master Builders Association of Jamaica on payment concerns surrounding work on the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project, SHIP.
The government is not a party to the contract between the local contractors and China Harbour, but we are the owners of the big contract, which is the South Coast Highway Improvement Project. So we have an interest in ensuring that there is good relation between our local contractors and the foreign investors. The master builders came together with us as to how we would approach resolving the issues. China Harbour has expressed that they are very much interested in resolving the issues. They have had negotiations and discussions with several of the contractors and have had a resolution. Where we are going now is to ensure that those resolutions with the other contractors are fast-tracked so they can be proper assessment of what they're due and proper assessment of the solutions to the conflicts that they have between each other so that we can come to a very speedy resolution.
Contractors working on the highway previously complained about outstanding payments amounting to several $million. Minister Morgan last week chaired a meeting to find a solution to the concerns with the president of the Master Builders Group, Richard Mullings, and his team. He says it's in the best interest of the country to resolve the issues plaguing the contractors.
The government's primary interest is to ensure that there is a collaboration between overseas investors and local trade. It makes no sense for us to spend significant amounts of tax dollars on these projects, but the local industry does not feel that they are an important part of the enterprise. We have been very clear to the main contractor that it is in their interest, as well as the interest of the country as a whole, that these issues are resolved. And we have also been very clear to the local contractors about the importance of negotiation and discussion.
Robert Morgan, Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. Further afield, Israel and Hezbollah traded strikes again on Tuesday as the death toll from a massive Israeli bombardment climbed to nearly 560 people. Thousands fled southern Lebanon with the two sides on the brink of all-out war. The Israeli military say 55 rockets were fired from Lebanon into northern Israel on Tuesday, setting fires and damaging buildings. Military officials say they carried out dozens of airstrikes on Hezbollah targets, including on a cell that fired rockets overnight, and that tanks and artillery struck targets near the border. That's the news.
News at 7 was brought to you by Fosrich, your electrical, lighting, solar, and LED people.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:16.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Time now for Street Smarts 2 with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning, George. I can just imagine what's happening out on that side because I was on along Mountain View yesterday in the night, 8, 9 o'clock, and boy, I tell you, it was really large pools of water from as far as the stadium going all the way down to the foot there, right at that intersection, pools of water. So I can just imagine what happened in that harbor view going out to the Bull Bay area. So, if we have a continuation, I don't know what has happened. Perhaps we need to know how other countries do their engineering to see how they cope with all this massive type of flooding. Anyway, our roadways still quite busy in many areas. Hagley Park from Woodland going further, with especially heading towards Alpha Tree, you're going to have bumper-to-bumper traffic. And remember earlier on, it was there on Washington Boulevard, Malines Road, going Boulevard heading to Dunrobin, Radius Road, in the vicinity of Meadowbrook going across the Avondale, Mannington Road, all the way to Constance Spring Road, that intersection, Mayor Brown's Corner, and then from Barbican all the way across the East Kings Road. Now, it still continues in the half a tree, bumper to bumper. There's Richmond Park that always has traffic at this time. So if you're going to Richmond Park, you're going to have a challenge navigating through there because Chisholm Avenue carries the bulk of the traffic, and then some try to take the fun to Richmond Park Avenue, Queens Avenue, where you always have traffic in that particular area. And as I said after this report, the traffic continues, and it's not going to be easy as you make your way. And if there's further rain, you're going to have more challenges. So remember, be prepared with your water boots and make sure you have tires that are in good order. You have your jack, your lug tools, and all of that. And if you have problems with your alternator, remember, switch off that AC while you're traversing through the water. And remember, when you're in pools of water like that, you have to know how to balance your exhaust system as against pressing that gas. So that's a little safety tip. So, as usual, at Street Smart, your safety is our concern. George, take it away.
Thank you, Ludlow. Ludlow there with some good tips for when you encounter pools of water on the road. Up next, front page.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Front page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. You're now tuned in to our discussion segment, the front page, continuing our discussions on our findings out of the Nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools.
The Nationwide Blue Dot polls, powered by Total Tools. Total Tools, they almost always have it.
Now, a plurality of Jamaicans, nearly 44%, say they do not believe the matter of the illicit six is being handled effectively by the Integrity Commission. That's according to the latest nationwide Blue Dot poll powered by Total Tools. The poll was conducted between September 6 and 19. It has a margin of error of plus or minus 3%. George Davis has the details.
The matter of the so-called illicit 6, adjusted to the illicit 8, has been a talking point in the country for nearly 2 years running. The matter concerns parliamentarians who are under investigation for illicit enrichment. Members of the opposition PNP and sections of civil society have clamored for those involved to name themselves. The Integrity Commission has maintained that the so-called gag clause in its enabling legislation limits the extent to which it can make public comments about ongoing investigations. It doesn't appear that answer has satisfied Jamaicans. The Blue Dot pollsters asked the sample of 1,246 eligible voters how they feel about the Integrity Commission's handling of the illicit 6. Nearly 44% of respondents said they believed the matter of the illicit 6 was not being handled effectively by the Integrity Commission. 42.6% said they had concerns about the approach of the Integrity Commission. But this cohort of respondents say more time is needed to judge the Commission's effectiveness. Only 10.9% of respondents said they believed the matter of the illicit 6 was being handled effectively by the Commission. Nearly 3% had a different view of the matter. It should be noted the data collection for the nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools ended 2 days after the Integrity Commission's Director of Investigation, Kevin Stevenson's report into Prime Minister Andrew Holness's financial affairs was tabled in the House of Representatives. George Davis for Nationwide News.
Thank you so much, George. And joining us now for a discussion on that and other matters this morning, economist and social commentator Sondre Roden, economist and economic and political commentator and the opposition junior spokesperson on finance and planning Cleveland Tomlinson, and a trade unionist and a political commentator Helene Davis-White. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning, Tara. Thank you for having me. Morning to your listeners. And George.
Morning.
Helene Davis-White also on the line?
Yes, morning, everyone.
All right, want to begin with you. What do you make of this finding? A plurality of Jamaicans, nearly 44%, saying they do not believe the matter of the illicit six is being handled effectively by the Integrity Commission.
Well, I think what was referred to earlier with regard to the gag clause, and it has affected the way the Integrity Commission has handled its various investigations. And Jamaicans, I don't think are comfortable with the idea that, the information is made now known about persons being investigated, but they are unable to get information as to who is being investigated and to get any comments on the investigation. I think we have come to a point in terms of, social media and other forms of communication that people expect a kind of openness, which is not the case with how the investigations of the Integrity Commission are being handled. And as a result of that, I believe that Jamaicans would have formed this view that the matters are not being handled effectively by the Commission.
Sondre Roden, do you think that's what it came down to, a matter of the Integrity Commission not being able to communicate more on this matter of the illicit six while it was being bantered about so much in the public domain?
I don't think that's what it comes down to, Tana. I think it's a little bit deeper than that. When the idea of illicit six, or the terminology as being used, was not a terminology that has ever been used by the Integrity Commission. Let's start there. The Integrity Commission submitted their annual report, and it listed a number of people that were being investigated. Remember that it's not only parliamentarians that the Integrity Commission looks at, it is public sector on a whole. There are a number of people being investigated. Now, I don't know if the parliamentarians heard when they put the gag clause in the law. I don't know what the thinking was at the time. I'd have to go back and look at that as it relates to what the thinking was, because both government and opposition agreed to this gag clause that was put in force. The People's National Party had their people there as well, and the Jamaica Labour Party had their people there as well. It's very important to note. The problem I'm having is that when you talk about an investigation, it is about research being done to see if whatever claims being made are accurate. There's an issue sometimes when it comes on to investigation and what the conversation is. The conversation now has been muddied because it has become extremely political, and I think it has allowed the work of the Integrity Commission to come under scrutiny, which is not something I think the nation needs or something the nation desires, because that is now when it comes to, people are going to call for resignations, all those things, when what if the investigation comes up inconclusive? So I think that muddying of the water is what now I'd say is neutering the role of the Integrity Commission. So they can't just report anymore. It becomes purported do something, but they can't do something unless they have finalized these investigations. So I'd have to look at what the thinking is in this gag clause, but it does present a issue as it relates to how it is. They can communicate, yes, but the politicization of the whole, Integrity Commission investigation is the issue that we're facing now as a country, and it has been from both political sides with how they have managed this issue.
How do you see it, Cleveland Tomlinson?
I think it's quite unfortunate, Turner, that a substantial percentage of the population is viewing the handling of the matter by the Integrity Commission as ineffective. That's not a perception that we should be happy about, given that the Integrity Commission is the country's foremost integrity watchdog, and the work that they do is so very important to maintaining what is so important to a democracy, which is integrity in public life. I think, though, that what contributes to this perception is what appears to be a coordinated effort by some individuals in the society to undermine the perception of the Integrity Commission. We have heard individuals making calls for review of the Integrity Commission Act, and individuals who have cast criticisms at the Integrity Commission about the way in which it's operating, and has labeled the Integrity Commission as being politically aligned and working to advance a party's political interest. I think that comments like these by some individuals and coordinated, I would say, from what appears, undermines the confidence in the Integrity Commission. It's very unfortunate.
Gentlemen, lady, hold the line. We're going to take a break and come back with more.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
7:30.
Outperform, outlast. We top performance. Jackama. Reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electricians. Fancy select tools, free parts and free repairs. 3 parts, free repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61114. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
When last you get good bun, you don't know good bun until you have a mother's bakery bun. From you pull open the wrapper and it's soft so till. A sub bun for nice. And from when you take the first bite, love it so till. A sub bun for nice. Beg your piece.
Get your own mother's bakery bun.
I will buy one off you.
Yes, but I will charge a convenience fee.
I will take one. Me too.
Mother's Bakery Buns. A sub bun for nice. Try them today.
We can light up your world with the rays of the sun, putting pure energy in the palm of your hand.
For over 20 years, Fosrich has been putting a world of energy in your hands. Now we bring you big savings with our line of solar energy products and LED lighting. Financing now available for all your home and commercial retrofit projects. Consult with our in-house staff or certified professional engineers for all your electrical needs. Fosrich Lifestyle. It's electric. Fosrich, your energy world.
Yes, Kemlani Mart is making deals.
Really? Deals like what?
On scratch, dented, new furniture and appliances.
Oh, that's great.
And that's not all. Kemlani Mart has tiles, toilets, doors at crazy low prices.
So I can make a deal on a sofa set?
Of course, and dining room sets, outdoor furniture, ACs and more. No reasonable offer will be refused.
Only at Kemlani Mart, Manor Center and 77 King Street.
I love this place, you see.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning, having a conversation about one of the findings from the Nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools, where a plurality of Jamaicans, nearly 44%, say they do not believe the matter of the illicit six is being handled effectively by the Integrity Commission. Helene Davis-White indicating earlier that it perhaps may be because there is the gag clause. They're not able to communicate on the matters as they come up in the public domain in relation to the matters they're probing. Sandra Roden expressing that he doesn't quite see it that way. It might be that the matters being probed by the Integrity Commission are being politicized. For Cleveland Tomlinson, he believes there is a coordinated effort to undermine the Integrity Commission. But some might argue, Cleveland, that may be the fault of the People's National Party, or they may be an actor in some of that as well, because they've been speaking on the matters out here, knowing that the Integrity Commission too cannot speak on their probe until it is completed and they put that report before Parliament.
Right. Tana, when I spoke to the coordinated effort, I was referring to comments and assertions being promulgated in the society that the Integrity Commission is aligned to a particular party and that the work of the Integrity Commission and the findings of the report will advance the interests of one political party. With respect to the People's National Party's comments on illicit six and the report of the Integrity Commission, I think that within the context of a democracy, where the Integrity Commission, the country's foremost integrity watchdog, has indicated that there are certain parliamentarians who are under investigation for illicit enrichment, the opposition made a call for those individuals to be identified, etc. I don't know if that is muddying the water, nor do I know if that is a coordinated attack on the Integrity Commission, nor do I perceive it to be the opposition speaking out of hand.
But say, for example, the opposition is indicating or calling on the other side to name who is being probed. The Integrity Commission has not named anyone, hasn't completed its investigation. Who knows what's going to be the outcome of the investigation? But if that is something that is being bantered on, people are seeking more information and they cannot have it because the Integrity Commission cannot speak on the matter. Doesn't that play into how people see the IC handling the matter?
I think what needs to be appreciated is the reason the opposition called for those individuals who form a part of the investigation, those who are being investigated for illicit enrichment in Parliament, to be identified and to temporarily step aside, is because currently the Parliament is reviewing the Integrity Commission's Act, and there very well may be individuals on that committee reviewing the Integrity Commission Act who are subjects of the Integrity Commission's investigation, who may want to alter or adjust the Integrity Commission Act in ways that are favorable to them and favorable to the outcome of their investigation. It would be a conflict of interest to have someone being investigated by the Integrity Commission to sit on the Committee of Parliament reviewing the Integrity Commission Act. One may have an interest to weaken the capacity and the effectiveness of the Integrity Commission, which is something that we must guard against, which is the genesis and the ethos of the opposition's call for these individuals to be identified. It's a legitimate position to take, Tana.
Can Sandra Roden, the argument be made by Cleveland Tomlinson and the PNP that they have pretty much nothing to do with people's perception of the politicization of the work of the Integrity Commission?
I hate to say it, George, but they definitely cannot say that. You know, the terminology illicit six, I don't know of anywhere else it's coming from other than from the People's National Party. The terminology. Their calls to have the people name themselves are calls that they also know as political actors, that is, they were on the other side of the stage, the naming themselves. So when we look at the political conversation around it, it started there. It started with this name yourself. No, yes, they're trying to come off as the more integrous party. They're trying to come off as the party that, you know, we're going to stand for and with the Integrity Commission, but it creates that perception that I'm saying, sadly, the nation did not
need, because then we saw in Parliament where the MPs from the Jamaica Labour Party started the whole conversation as if this was a witch hunt, as if the Integrity Commission is compromised, and then the opposition continued to hit at name the illicit six, name the illicit six. It became a tit for tat that made the perception as though the opposition kept saying things publicly that made it seem as though they had more information on who exactly these people are, and it's just a matter of time before the Integrity Commission comes out with the report. That perception, whether or not it's the reality, whether or not they didn't know or did know, we don't know, but the perception is normally what influences politics and social engineering, and not always the reality. And because People's National Party is on a drive to prove that the government is this really corrupt institution, that perception gives off the idea that they have more knowledge than the entire Jamaica about what is happening at the Integrity.
And I want to give.
If I may say
hold on, Cleveland. Hold on, Cleveland, man. We gave you a lot of space to make your views now. Let me ask Sandre to respond to something else. I'll come back to you, Cleveland. I promise. The argument that Cleveland lays out, Sandre, about the what if scenario. What if on the Integrity Commission Review Committee sits someone who's under investigation? I ask you, Sandre, so what if there isn't anyone on that committee who is under investigation?
Yeah, that's the muddy area. We just don't know. But the other thing you have to note is that Parliament already has this report. So I think Parliament should be making that decision. And if the opposition and the government member of Parliament sitting there, knowing that knowing that they are the ones on the investigation, knowing that conflict of interest exists, then I think that should absolve itself in the future when the names actually do come out. Because that would make the country know and then make a decision on those people, and we could not accept an act, and of course the country would cry out for that. I think that will solve itself in the future.
I don't want to lock Helene out, but Cleveland, your right of response. Go ahead.
2 points of response to that. I don't agree with Sandra a lot. We don't often agree, but there's one thing he said that I find to be reasonable when he said that comments from the Jamaica Labour Party that the Integrity Commission is compromised and that the Integrity Commission is acting in the interest of the PNP.
When did the JLP say that, though, Cleveland? Tell me.
No, that's what Sandre said. I'm referring to Sandre.
Okay.
So comments like those lead to the perception that the Integrity Commission is compromised. And I want to say that the PNP has access to no greater information from the Integrity Commission than anybody else.
So to that extent, then, Cleveland, when your opposition spokesman on finance predicted when the report on Andrew Holness would drop and predict the outcome of the report, he was only mustering because he didn't know.
When the chairman of the Integrity Commission, Justice Panton, said that we're wrapping up the investigation into the Prime Minister. And that the report will come soon. Remember, Parliament goes to recess in the summer. And returns in September.
Cleveland, we know how these things work. We know how these things work.
Hold on, George. It is not illogical for one to make the assumption that after the recess, coming in September, then we're likely to see the report being tabled in Parliament.
So the pinpoint prediction, the pinpoint prediction from Julian Robinson was an idea impregnated by what Seymour Panton said is what you're saying this morning.
Precisely so.
Okay.
And
all right.
Julian and no member of the PNP had access to any information. And just let me say this point, please.
Hold on, Cleveland. Hold on, you've said a lot. Hold on, let's interrogate what you've said. You also said that the charge of coordination can't be laid at the PNP's door. The fact of every opportunity Mark Golding gets on the campaign hustings, the centerpiece of his speech to whichever audience is gathered in front of him is Integrity Commission. That's not coordination.
What has the People's National Party said about the Integrity Commission? The People's National Party has not.
No, man, about the illicit six and the Integrity Commission. No, man, what I'm saying is this. Cleveland, hold on, man. Don't muddy the waters. See, Cleveland, I have a sieve. I'm saying to you that remember, you're here to respond, and you're not being denied the right of response. They claim that the feelings about the Integrity Commission are being motivated by coordinated comments, criticism, critiques, whatever it is, against the commission time after time. You said by actors in society. So I'm asking if the campaign the PNP has been on to prove that it is not the party of corruption, that the ruling JLP is the party of corruption, and the fact that the comrade leaders, the centerpiece of his presentation week in, week out, is about the Integrity Commission and corruption. You're saying that that's not part of a coordinated attack, a coordinated process to shape the perception of people?
It is not, George, I maintain it is not tantamount to an attack on the Integrity Commission. When we have brought up the Integrity Commission's report on the illicit six, it has always been that those who know that they are under investigation for illicit enrichment should recuse themselves from the Parliament, recuse themselves if they sit on the committee that is reviewing the Integrity Commission's Act. It has never been a communication about the process by which the Integrity Commission is undertaking the investigation or anything that would bring into question the integrity of the Integrity Commission.
I hear this.
It has always been about those who know that they are under investigation should step aside. That is not equivalent to an attack on the Integrity Commission.
Helene, the fact of the findings of the Blue Dot pollsters and what it says about the handling of this matter, the perception by people of the handling of this matter. Should we be tempted in any way to draw any conclusion about how people feel about the Integrity Commission broadly, its purpose in society, the functions that it carries out? Must we only restrict that perception to what they're saying about this matter, or should we think that the people are saying something about the Integrity Commission as a body as constituted?
Well, I think the people generally do not, I feel, have a real handle on the Integrity Commission and its operations and, the law that governs.
They don't really understand it.
I don't think a lot of people, and because, again, I say that we are in a society where, what in other times would have been deemed to be sus is now being put in various, especially in social media, as facts that create a kind of perception that is difficult to counter. And I think that is what is a major problem for us, because the Integrity Commission was established for a reason.
Yes.
To deal with corruption in public, particularly public life and public actors generally. And if that is so, and you have the Integrity Commission being mired, the first red flag, if you may want to call it that, for me, was the gag clause, because the gag clause inhibits the ability of the commission to be open with the society generally.
Yes.
And I understand one of the reasons why that is so, because I represent public officers, and it is not the politicians alone that the Integrity Commission investigates. It's not just politicians that have to submit their filings and so on. And so you really want a situation where persons' reputation, etc., are not damaged because of reports that have come that they are being investigated. Because usually, if it does come out to say that the person, there was no basis for any action against the individual, then that never generally gets the headlines in the same way as the person being investigated.
Yes.
So I understand that, but I think the gag clause has done a disservice to this commission.
And the sum total is that the people don't understand it. You don't believe?
I don't think they understand how it is supposed to operate. They expect the commission to come out and say something.
Yes.
And the fact that the commission does not come out and say something,
yes,
it gives them the impression that it is not being operated.
Yeah. The last thing I'll say, Cleveland, I want to give you a quote before we go, because you said that the comrade leader and the PNP broadly they don't criticize the Integrity Commission. What they talk about are the politicians who are under investigation and their proximity to the reviewed Inter-Commission Act. Right? Anyway, March 2023, March last year, Mark Golding at a PNP NEC meeting, Calabar High in St. Andrew. He said, quote, "The Integrity Commission does not always put all the relevant facts in the report, and that can cause unfairness and injustice to persons who are being reviewed when critical elements which help to inform these decisions are not included in the report and seem to be deliberately omitted. Those are the things that the Commission needs to shape up on." I suspect you're going to say that this is a critique and not a criticism, eh?
Well, look at the way in which that is communicated, George. The way in which that is communicated is a view to nurturing the Integrity Commission. It's a very young organization, and it will not get everything right. But that is a stark difference from saying that the Integrity Commission is compromised and is serving the political interest of a particular party.
And I'm asking, just name one of the persons who have said that, no?
Well, we have seen it on social media. We have seen bloggers. We have seen particular individuals. We have seen that there's a narrative coming particularly collectively.
Cleveland, you owe me one. You owe me one because you know you ought to do better than that. You know, and you know. You owe me one on that. We have to go.
I don't know what you're talking about, George. I think it's made very clear.
You owe me one for you should. This is the instance where you should drop the name, Cleveland. Drop the name. Drop the name. No problem. No problem. All right. Thank you, Sandre. Thank you, Helene. Thank you, Cleveland. That's all the time we have. Yes, Andre.
Yes, I'm saying that. Remember that Mark Golden said that he would name the.
That he would what?
So he would name the illicit six if the PNP were to win government. That was a statement he made that was in the media.
Yeah.
So that, I think, also contributed to it.
All right, sir. Thank you very much this morning. Sanjay Roden, Helene Davis White, and Cleveland Tomlinson.
Listen up, motorists. Speeding burns more gas. So slow down. The life you save may be your own and also that of your loved ones. Slow down. Save lives and money. The time by the Insurance Association of Jamaica is
7:50.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is
27 degrees Celsius in both Kingston and Montego Bay.
Remember, every dream where you have, remember everything where you plan. With J&B Bank, anything possible. With a little savings in your hand. Save so you can. Build the house, buy the land. You have goals and dreams, make a plan. Save so you can.
Living your best life and making memories is priceless. But saving little by little is what makes it affordable. Stop wishing you could. With your J&B Bank savings, you absolutely can. J&B Bank will help you find a way.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10 or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice in the electrical business.
Attention seniors! Great news! Your September 2024 social pension payment is now available for collection. Simply check your text messages to confirm your payment details. For more information, call 876-922-8007 or visit the ministry's website mlss.gov.jm. The Social Pension Program, caring for our elders. A message from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, providing opportunity, stability and social protection.
When last you get good bun, you don't know good bun until you have a mother's bakery bun. From you pull open the wrapper and it's soft so till. A so bun for nice. And from when you take the first bite, love it so till. A so bun for nice. Beg your piece.
Get your own mother's bakery bun.
I will buy one off you.
Yes, but I will charge a convenience fee.
I will take one. Me too.
Mother's Bakery Buns. A so bun for nice. Try them today.
You want to play all your favorite Supreme Ventures games like Cashpot and Lotto in a one place? Plus bet on sports with Just Bet and horse racing with MBet? Come take a step in at the new SV Games app. All of the games you love in a one place. Step in and play all your numbers. Bet on all your sports and get enough chances to win in the only gaming app you need. SV Games from Supreme Ventures. Visit supremegames.com to download the SV Games app. More ways to bet, more ways to win at your fingertips. Must be 18 years or older to play.
.53 on this Tuesday morning, Tuesday, September 24. It's 2 days until my granny's birthday. She gone though, but she always kept up her birthday. We talk about that after 8. The Supreme Court has dismissed an application by the Jamaica Association of Composers, Authors and Publishers, JCAP, for specific disclosure against Horizon Entertainment and Communication Company Limited, the pivotal ruling handed down last week. It marks a significant development, we're told, in a long-running copyright dispute over unpaid licensing fees for the use of copyrighted musical works. You'll recall that JCAP case with KFC some time ago, which they lost. JCAP had initially secured the default judgments against Horizon, but the court ruled that the absence of a tribunal-approved licensing scheme undermined JCAP's ability to pursue other claims. Horizon's attorney, Chuck Cameron, joins us this morning. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Sir George. Good morning to your listeners.
Good. All right. Tell my listeners essentially what the ruling of the court turned on, and then I'm going to ask you to respond to JCAP. We have a news item where the JCAP head is saying the outcome is not as you've communicated, but we're going to come to that as a second point.
Okay, so I'm going to reference a judgment to summarize what the case turned on. The issue that the court determined, one of the issues that the court determined was whether or not the licensing body, and that is JCAP, needed to have established the licensing fee in order for the scheme to be implemented. And when they speak to the scheme, they mean to this whole regime that empowers JCAP to collect licensing fees from entities such as my client. So that was one of the primary issues that the court was considered. In its consideration, and I'm quoting from the judgment itself, at paragraph 28, determining the licensing fee after the setting up of the scheme is actually contrary to the statute. What that means, you can't operate the scheme, seek to collect the money, and then when you're trying to collect the money, that is when you're trying to establish a licensing fee. The court's words are, it is actually contrary to the statute. It goes on. In other words, the scheme is not complete unless and until the fee for each class of case administered under the scheme is set out by the licensing body. It also says at paragraph 32, it is a copyright tribunal, and that is a creature that is to be created under the Copyright Act. It says it's a copyright tribunal that is to engage in the process of fixing the fees if none exists. This is not the remit of the court, because what Jacob sought to do is it was now asking the court to assess how much fees or how much damages should be paid. And the court is saying, that's not my job. That should have been set up before you engaged in the scheme. At paragraph 33, it says the failure of the claimant to properly establish its licensing scheme by determining its fees makes it that the court has no basis to assess damages for breach of the said scheme. And finally, George, in conclusion, the court said the claimant could have and should have established these fees of any company returns independent of any company returns from any entity which would seek to use their works. Because what it sought to do, it said, hey, tell me how much money you make, and I'm going to take a percentage of that. And the court said, no, it doesn't work like that. Before you enter into any scheme, you need to have established what those licensing fees were. And I've just quoted directly from the judgment, sir.
All right. Based on the statement that you issued on behalf of your client last week, the newsroom prepared a story in which they quote you arguing that JCAP had no legal grounds to demand specific disclosure or collect licensing fees, as no rates had been approved by the Copyright Tribunal as required by Jamaica's Copyright Act. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I will quote from paragraph 40.
Yes.
Where the court said, therefore, the disclosure of the defendant's company returns are unnecessary to determine the licensing fees and for the determination of damages.
All right.
The court finds that the disclosure of orders are necessary to resolve the claim.
Lydia Rose, JCAP's general manager, has told our news center that that is inaccurate. She says JCAP is returning to court on November 4 to have damages assessed, and that Mr. Cameron, yourself, is being misleading by suggesting that a copyright tribunal must set specific rates. She goes further to say, in a conversation with our newsroom, which we have on record, that such a tribunal would only be involved when a dispute had not already been settled, and that the tribunal is currently inactive, and that the tariff set by JCAP takes precedence. I put those issues to you.
And I'll reply by reading paragraph 41. In any event, as damages for breach of copyright sound as special damages, the fact that special damages has not been set forth in this claim. At present, it is not recoverable on an assessment of damages. And let me repeat that part. It is not recoverable on an assessment of damages. Not my words, the words of the judgment.
The words, right. I wouldn't even bring you down the wormhole of saying that she effectively said that, well, she said that you are creating public mischief with your utterance. I just wanted to focus on the substance of what she said. So, a reasonable person...
I'm grateful for the opportunity to respond to that, George. Yes. Because it is a role of counsel to interpret the law. Even if counsel is mistaken, you're going on a slippery road when you use that type of language, because even if counsel is mistaken, but in this circumstance, George, I would have quoted specifically from the judgment, and in the circumstance where the article did not quote the judgment, at the highest, counsel can be mistaken, but to say misleading, that those words are choice of words are unfortunate.
Yeah, creating public mischief by your utterances. So the public then, because I'm happy we have you here as a balance, because, well, you spoke through a statement. We interviewed Miss Rose, and she has set out JCAP's position, and now you get a second bite of the cherry because you're responding to what she said. For the public listening on and knowing a little or maybe a lot about what the Jamaica Association of Composers, Authors and Publishers do in the name of protecting the owners of copyright and ensuring that they get payment for the use of their material. The effect of the court's decision, you would explain to them, Chuck Cameron, is what? Just going by what you know of the case, having been a party to it.
So, what ought to happen is that JCAB now has to operate in accordance with the law and good governance. What you don't have now is any type of transparency. So it's quite ironic. They came to my client and said, show me your books. The court is saying you don't have any right to see his books. You should have set the fees before you get into any engagement. On the converse, in relation to those persons who are to benefit from those monies that are being collected by JCAB on their behalf, there is no transparency. So what is expected from my part as someone who is interested in our creatives and making it a successful industry in Jamaica, is that Jacob would now start publishing and making available those monies that they have been, those exorbitant, unlawful monies that they have been collecting, and make it transparent as to how they have been distributing those monies.
And the reason
in my mind,
yes,
sir.
The reason I asked you the question the way I did is because ultimately I want to prepare the ground to ask you if those entities that have paid over monies to JCAP, pursuant to what the court has ruled here, if they can make a claim for a refund.
So the challenge is, George, well, the fact is they have entered into licensing agreements with some entities. I do not know the content of those licensing agreements, so I'd not be able to speak to that. But for those who have not entered into any licensing agreement, there's a big question mark as to the basis upon which those fees were being collected. When this court had said, the court can't tell you what the fee is, and you can't make up a fee after the fact. It can only be determined by a copyright tribunal and not Jacob. So we don't care what Jacob says. The court is not minded to pay any regard to what Jacob says. Has the scheme been established? In establishing the scheme, were those license fees established? Those are the relevant issues. So there is a big question mark. If it is, Jacob has indeed been collecting fees from persons in the absence of some type of agreement, and even where there is an agreement, one has to examine each agreement on its own merit, and one may be surprised what one may find when one examines each agreement on its own merit.
Lastly, Chuck, we're out of time, but it has been nagging at me to, well, not ask it, but I have to ask. What did what did JCAP say in the court to justify its proposed method of collection of saying, show me your books so that I can then look at how much money you are making to then calculate what you should pay based on that? Where did that come from?
Sir George, I don't recall. Suffice it to say they stood on their laurels. Their position was, this is what we have always done. We have always collected. And so they have just taken a position that they are the status quo, and this is what we do, and as such, we are entitled.
Wow. Well, all right. Thank you for your time this morning. The story with Lydia Rose, the JCAP General Manager, is something we are carrying in our newscast later, and we'll publish on our social media pages so you can look at it in a more fulsome manner. Thank you for your time this morning, sir.
All the best, sir.
Chuck Cameron, attorney at law. He represented Horizon Entertainment and Communication Company Limited in their successful legal action against the Jamaica Association of Composers, Authors and Publishers, JCAP. You know, Tana, in all of this, you say, well, the people whose works are the subject of these things, them lose out because, yeah? Ah, boy. All right. Back with more after Cross Jamaica and Caribbean News. Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales. For a better choice in the electrical business.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:06.
Success, powered by learning. The temperature, brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us is...
This is in both Kingston and Montego Bay.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's Across Jamaica this morning.
In Across Jamaica this Tuesday morning, the St. James Environmental Health Department is reporting a 2 percentage point decrease in the AD's index for August. Acting Chief Public Health Inspector Sharika Lewis says that the figure now stands at 11%, down from 13% for the previous month. Addressing the St. James Municipal Corporation at its recent monthly meeting, Ms. Lewis said the decline is a reflection of the success of ongoing mosquito control measures across the parish. The index represents the percentage of premises within a specific area where Aedes aegypti mosquito breeding is detected compared to the total number of premises inspected. Ms. Lewis says the department expected 19,546 premises. Of that number, 2,095 were found to be positive for mosquito breeding. The Early Childhood Commission, ECC, has handed over a newly retrofitted inclusive classroom to the Salvation Army Arthur Wint Basic School in Lucy, Hanover. Done in partnership with the Digicel Foundation, the facility forms part of the ECC's Inclusive Legacy Project. The classroom includes an adjoining sensory room and is equipped with resources to cater to the unique needs of the special needs students. It can accommodate some 20 students. The project commenced in 2022 with an objective to advance early childhood development through the establishment of inclusive learning environments where students with special needs can learn in similar settings as their peers. The inclusive classroom was handed over on September 18. That's it for Across Jamaica for this Tuesday morning, and we now bring you the latest from across the Caribbean News Desk, for today, Tuesday, September 24, 2024.
From the Caribbean News Desk, the morning edition. Good morning. I'm Dennis Chabrol.
And I'm Kendall Morgan with the latest from across the Caribbean.
St. Lucia's opposition leader Alan Chastanet is warning the St. Lucia Labour Party-led government that there will be protests if it does not give in to a series of demands. He issued a warning late Sunday night at a political rally where several candidates were unveiled for the next general elections in another 2 years. Mr. Chastanet says the government will face protests if $75 million Eastern Caribbean dollars is not provided to pay debts so that the Owen King European Union Hospital can provide medicines and water. The UWP's list of demands includes the removal of a 2.5% health and security levy, which has seen a spike in fuel prices and is a cost of transportation.
If the Labour Party does not, within the next 30 days, lower the price of gas in St. Lucia, are you ready to march? If the Labour Party does not have a plan to secure St. Lucia and stop the young men from killing each other in this country, are you ready to march?
France has deployed a group of special anti-riot police to the Caribbean island of Martinique amid widespread protests that defy government restrictions. The special force, which had been previously banned from Martinique for 65 years, arrived at the weekend after the local representative of France's central government said in a statement that protests were forbidden in the 4 municipalities. The restrictions came after violent protests broke out on the island last week over the high cost of living, with gunfire injuring at least 6 police officers and 1 civilian.
St. Lucia's opposition leader Alan Chastanet says he has teamed up with other stakeholders in 3 other Caribbean countries to get back millions of dollars from the sale of passports through Caribbean Galaxy. He told a rally of his United Workers' Party on Sunday night that there will be legal action involving 4 Eastern Caribbean countries after speaking with Philip Martinez, the head of MSR Media, which was involved in the Citizenship by Investment program.
When I filed a case in the courts next week for CIP, I want you to know that I've had a discussion with Mr. Martinez. And Mr. Martinez brought me into a conversation with Grenada, with Dominica, and with St. Kitts. And we all intend to file a class action suit so we can recover the money that you have lost. Because if the government won't go after the money, our money, we are going to go and get our money back.
He'll also announce that he'll next week ask the court to stop the St. Lucia government from selling that island's citizenship through Galaxy.
Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is not yet ready to commit to inviting overseas electoral observers for the country's upcoming general elections. The opposition United National Congress raised the matter in the parliament after party leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar sent a letter to the Prime Minister requesting the presence of observers for the elections due late next year.
Notwithstanding the best efforts of our colleagues on the other side, Trinidad and Tobago preserves its proud record in conducting free and fair elections. The elections that are anticipated to be held can be held as late as November of 2025. Is not a matter that is before at this time.
Schools in Haiti are due to be opened next month as security concerns continue to ease in the violence-plagued country. Kenya's President William Ruto says his 400-member police contingent has helped Haitian security forces put improved security arrangements in place.
I have been informed by the government here that schools were supposed to open earlier. They will now open on the 1st of October, and they are asking you to work with the Haitian National Police to make sure that children go to school on 1st of October.
Lucia's Olympic star Julian Alfred is scheduled to arrive in the island today for the first time since her historic performance at the recent Paris Olympics. Sports commentator Joseph Rez Pereira says 4 days of special activities are being held leading up to Friday's Julian Alfred public holiday.
Arriving at the Huanar International Airport, there'll be a motorcade to the east coast of St. Lucia. On the following day, there'll be a schools rally at Soufrière, La Ressource, and Denry. On the 26th, she will visit primary school, a Cicerone, and unveiling a very special painting in her honor. And on the 27th, at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground, there'll be a national concert involving the outstanding artists in St. Lucia, and it's expected to attend by over some 12,000 people who are specially invited by the government.
Alfred won St. Lucia's first ever Olympic medals, gold in the 100 and silver in the 200 meters.
Before we go, we want to wish the people of Trinidad and Tobago Happy Republic Day today as they celebrate the country's 48th anniversary as a republic. This has been the morning edition from the Caribbean News Desk. You may contact us by phone or WhatsApp on +592 700 9293. Thanks for listening.
Just touched down on the island. Popeye's wings and style. Roll up in at the venue. Brand new thing on the menu. Wing the alarm for the ghost pepper. Nice. On the barbecue and the sweet and spicy. Wing the alarm flavor them take off. Yo, Popeye's wings are the right breed. See them so we do. Popeye's wings touchdown in Jamaica. Bag of flavors. Brand new thing on the menu. Roll up in at the venue. Tell them a style of send you. Love that chicken from Popeye.
You want to play all your favorite Supreme Ventures games like Cashpot and Lotto in a one place? Plus bet on sports with Just Bet and horse racing with MBet? Come take a step in at the new SV Games app. All of the games you love in a one place. Step in and play all your numbers. Bet on all your sports and get enough chances to win in the only gaming app you need. SV Games from Supreme Ventures. Visit supremegames.com to download the SV Games app. More ways to bet, more ways to win at your fingertips. Must be 18 years or older to play.
You good, Mark? No. From what day me have these terrible heartburns. I don't know why. What kind of food you eating? To tell you the truth, I mostly eat fast food. I live alone and I'm too busy for cook my youth. That's your problem. You're eating too much processed food and building up trans fat. Trans fat? What that? Trans fat is a type of fat in a processed foods like fried chicken, fries, donuts, and them things there. So how that cause heartburn? So eating trans fat can cause acid reflux. So if you don't stop eat it or cut back on the amount you eat, things can get worse. Like what? You can get heart attacks, stroke, type 2 diabetes, or even die. But fats and oils not important for eat my youth. Yes, but the healthy kind in a vegetable aisle, nuts and fish. Okay, I'm gonna switch up my diet starting today. Just remember to balance it out with your fresh fruits, vegetables, and ground provision.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
We can light up your world with the rays of the sun, putting pure energy in the palm of your hand.
For over 20 years, Fosrich has been putting a world of energy in your hands. Now we bring you big savings with our line of solar energy products and LED lighting. Financing now available for all your home and commercial retrofit projects. Consult with our in-house staff or certified professional engineers for all your electrical needs. Fosrich Lifestyle. It's electric. Fosrich, your energy world.
Imagine opening a bank account without ever leaving your home. Well, at CIBC Caribbean, we've changed the game. Open a new CIBC savings or checking account completely online using your computer or phone, anywhere, anytime. No need to visit the bank, no waiting in line. Just apply, verify, and sign your documents, all online. It's secure, seamless, and 100% digital. Open your new CIBC account by applying online today.
Crisp and refreshing. Room temperature or chilled. A pure water would drink. The time by Pure Water is
8:17.
Quality Talks is brought to you by Bureau of Standards Jamaica. From lab to market.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. It's that time of a Tuesday morning for the Quality Talks feature. So, over the years, the Bureau of Standards Jamaica BSJ's role has expanded to include the provision of services in relation to conformity assessment and metrology. Its main activities include facilitating the development of standards and other requirements to which particular commodities, services, practices, and processes must comply, conducting tests and calibrating instruments, certifying products and management systems, providing industrial training, and promoting research and education standardization. The people over there at the BSJ, they do a lot. So in Quality Talks today, we're looking at the future of the Bureau of Standards Jamaica and its development. I'm pleased to be joined by the Executive Director of the BSJ, the Bureau of Standards Jamaica, Dr. Velton Gooden, here in studio. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Tana, and good morning to your listening audience as well. It's a pleasure to be on your show this morning.
And thank you so much for joining us here on NTM. Dr. Gooden, off the air, I was asking you about how long you've been at the BSJ, and I want you to tell our listeners as well before going into matters having to do with the future of the BSJ and its development.
Yes, well, my career started out at the BSJ fresh out of university in 1991. I spent the first 3 years as a senior analyst in the chemistry lab, and I left and I went to industry, working with companies like Grace Kennedy, the CB Group. And then in 2021, I came back as the executive director to basically lead this transformative change that is now happening at the Bureau, being a facilitator of business, driving trade, and helping companies to be globally competitive.
And over the weeks, we've had several of your unit leads coming on to talk to us about different areas there at the BSJ and what you guys do. But for you now, as the executive director, we're talking about the future of the Bureau this morning. As we look to that future, what are some of those emerging challenges that the BSJ is anticipating, and how the organization is preparing to address those challenges to ensure continued relevance?
Well, the Bureau is a member of the International Organization for Standardization. It's a world body comprised of over 170 countries and their national standards body, similar to the BSJ. We are discussing at that level. I just came back from the annual general meeting that was held in Colombia. And among the things that we're discussing at that level are things like climate change. You know, as a small island developing nation, Jamaica is disproportionately affected by, the impacts of climate change, rising sea levels, and so forth. So the UN Secretary General said recently that climate change is not just a very important risk for our generation, but in fact maybe the greatest risk of all time that the human nation, humans have had to face. So we're actively looking at standards to mitigate the risk of climate change. At the international level, at COP29, which is a UN affiliate that is looking at climate change and policies and standards to ensure that world temperatures, global temperatures do not rise beyond 1.5 degrees C by the middle of the century. And so through ISO, of which we are a part, we are right at the table at those discussions, helping to formulate policies to limit carbon emissions and to introduce new technology to ensure that we mitigate this risk.
So that's one of them, assessing climate change. But back here locally as well, Dr. Gooden, are there any new industries that the BSJ is focusing on that you think are lacking standards and the BSJ needs to intervene now and create standards for those?
Absolutely. So there are a number of emerging industry. The psilocybin industry, commonly referred to as magic mushroom, is just one such.
Something we've been talking about here on Nationwide, yes?
Yes. So we have been assisting the players, the stakeholders in that industry. So recently, within the last, I would say, 12 to 24 months, we have formed a technical committee that is looking at creating standards for the product and its derivatives, so that we can be assured of safe use of these magic mushrooms. So our work involves creating testing protocols for it to make sure that the active ingredients, which is actually an hallucinogen, is at the right level, and so that people do not overdose and experience the harmful effect of overdosing. So that's just one example of the work that we're doing with emerging industries and helping to make sure that whatever industries are emerging, that they're done in such a way so that the consuming public can be protected.
You were also mentioning the cannabis industry as well and testing around that. If you could expand on what you were telling me off air about the cannabis industry, since you've mentioned the magic mushrooms to me.
Yes, the cannabis industry, as we know, is another emerging industry for Jamaica with enormous potential. However, again, the active ingredients, the cannabinoids, we have to assure that the products, whether it is being used as in the retail outlets, which are proliferating all over the island,
yes,
as also as inputs into other pharmaceutical drugs, those are done in a safe way. So we have developed 2 standards around cannabis, which are national standards, and we're actually working actively with ISO to see if we can get those to be international standards. So work is happening. But also we have partnered with one of the sister agencies within the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. The BSJ is an agency within that very important business ministry led by Senator the Honorable Albin Hill. And so we have developed a number of testing protocols for that to test the level of cannabinoids and other terpenes and other active ingredients. Also to test things like mold, heavy metals, which if are present beyond certain limits can be harmful as well. So there's a lot of work happening in that area as well.
You have a standard for everything. Because we, as I was telling you, we had on your lead in the units of packaging and furniture last week. So there's standards for that. There's standard for everything, Dr. Good.
That is it, So we are constantly monitoring industry, both nationally, regionally, and internationally. And what we try to do is to get ahead of the opportunities and make sure that whatever is emerging is done in a way to protect the consuming public and to ensure that there are specifications so that the necessary regulations can be developed and that the monitoring can take place.
So you create all of these standards, Dr. Gooden. How do you get, industry players involved so that they're coming to the BSJ and testing their products and all of that?
So there are 2 strategies that we have been pursuing, especially in our evolved role as a facilitator of industry. And the 2 approaches involve, one, we have developed a key account strategy where we have brought in some business development officers, and they're working with some of the larger players, sort of offering a concert service, an end-to-end service, where we're able to, collect samples, bring them to the BSJ, monitor the work being done, and to ensure that the turnaround time is met. For the smaller players, MSMEs, and we know that MSMEs are by far the drivers of a global economy everywhere, including Jamaica. we have developed what we call a client services program. And I think one of our speakers some time ago spoke about that.
Sure did, yes.
So, many MSMEs, they're not so certain which standards apply to their industry.
Right.
What sort of testing they need, what sort of training they need. And so we have developed a program where they can call in, they can get registered. We have even developed an app that they can come on to. They can get registered. They can find out, which standard is relevant for them. How do they move to the next step? And so by that, we are able to help them to move to the next step. We are also able, if we are not able to offer them the services in-house, to direct them to the appropriate agency where they can get the help.
Mm-hmm. So, Dr. Gooden, you spoke on the new standards that the BSJ is helping to develop in relation to magic mushrooms, as well as the work you've been doing in relation to the cannabis industry. You're speaking on the different things that you have developed to interface with your clientele and other developments. But as you see it, finally, the future of the BSJ, what's your outlook on the future of the Bureau of Standards Jamaica?
Really, as our minister has often said, Jamaica cannot become a developed country just selling to 30 million people. We have to be able to allow our industries, whether they are producers of products or the delivery of service, so that we can meet the global market. Standards really are the key to global trade. Mm-hmm. So by developing the appropriate standards which fits with our economy and helping industry stakeholders to meet those standards, we're actually helping them to become globally competitive and thus allow more goods and services to be traded internationally.
Yeah, I totally support that. More and more people that we can have being able to meet these standards and also export now. Because once you're able to meet all the standards, then you put yourself into the category of somebody who's able to export, then the better for Jamaica.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Dr. Velton Gooden, he is the Executive Director of the Bureau of Standards Jamaica. You are no stranger to this segment, Quality Talks. We've been having on lead representatives from the different units of the BSJ over the past several weeks. And now you're seeing Dr. Gooden, as I said, who is the Executive Director of the BSJ. Dr. Gooden, thank you so much for your time this morning.
It has been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Talking to us about the BSJ, looking ahead, the future of the Bureau and its several developments. Going to take a break and come back with more.
Quality Talks was brought to you by Bureau of Standards Jamaica. From lab to market.
Upgrade your home or business with Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Explore a range of termite-resistant plywood, quartz, solid surface, and granite. Experience timeless elegance with our cedar doors, crafted from premium cedar stock, kiln-dried for durability and beauty. For quality and craftsmanship, visit us at the Trade Center Kingston 10 or Hatfield Mandeville. Call 876-963-0628 to 30. Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Transform your space today.
Imagine opening a bank account without ever leaving your home. Well, at CIBC Caribbean, we've changed the game. Open a new CIBC savings or checking account completely online using your computer or phone, anywhere, anytime. No need to visit the bank, no waiting in line. Just apply, verify, and sign your documents, all online. It's secure, seamless, and 100% digital. Open your new CIBC account by applying online today.
When last you get good bun, you don't know good bun until you have a mother's bakery bun. From you pull open the wrapper and it's soft so till. A so bun for nice. And from when you take the first bite, love it so till. A so bun for nice. Beg your piece.
Get your own mother's bakery bun.
I will buy one off you.
Yes, but I will charge a convenience fee.
I will take one.
Me too. Mother's bakery buns. A so bun for nice. Try them today.
You want to play all your favorite Supreme Ventures games like Cashpot and Lotto in a one place? Plus bet on sports with Just Bet and horse racing with MBet? Come take a step in at the new SV Games app. All of the games you love in a one place. Step in and play all your numbers. Bet on all your sports and get enough chances to win in the only gaming app you need. SV Games from Supreme Ventures. Visit SupremeGames.com to download the SV Games app. More ways to bet, more ways to win at your fingertips. Must be 18 years or older to play.
Data Protection Matters is brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
Welcome to Data Protection Matters, powered by Design Privacy here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm your host, Chantal Thompson. Today we have with us Chuck Cameron, founder of Design Privacy and Data Privacy Expert. Welcome, Chuck.
Hi, Chantal.
Right, along with us, as mentioned, we have a special guest, Miss Tracy Wallace, our HR consultant. Welcome, Tracy.
Hi, Chantal.
All right, so Chuck is very excited to talk about our DPO competency framework. So he'll be leading this conversation with Tracy. Chuck, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Chantal. So, I don't know why you spilled the beans about Tracy. So let me just dial it back a little. So, we are speaking specifically to HR personnel. We have found that they are the crux at this stage to the successful implementation of this data protection regime. Having identified that as a substantial issue, we really sought to ask ourselves the questions, how can we solve that problem for HR managers? Those HR managers who have now been tasked with appointing a DPO for the organization or recruiting a DPO for the organization, when the reality is HR doesn't have a clue who a DPO is. If you were to ask them what DPO stands for, only those who have had some sort of training will know that it means Data Protection Officer. If they know what it means, they don't know what skills they must have. They don't know what qualifications must have. They don't have an appreciation of what should the data protection officer achieve. And that's all base information that they would need to effectively recruit a DPO. Given the fact that we are in the business of training and we have had over 4 years experience in this space, we saw it fit to say, okay, if it is we're going to add value to the whole development of our data protection framework in Jamaica, how can we leverage our experience, our certification, and package it and share it with members of the public? And we thought about engaging an expert. Design Privacy, we are experts in data protection, but we sought to engage an expert in the space of in the HR field. And we got none other than Tracy Wallace, who is here with us today. Tracy.
Chuck.
How are you doing?
I am really great. Thank you for having me.
Did you know what DPO means before I spoke to you? Talk the truth.
No, in a sense I did, but it could have been multiple things. But because I knew it was Chuck talking to me, then I knew what DPO was.
Reasonable.
So, yeah.
Reasonable. So we came to you with a problem, and I just want to, as quickly as possible, be able to share with our listeners, what did you learn, what insights did you take away that could actually lend value to all of the HR managers that are listening now?
Okay, so great question. I just want to say, first of all, thank you. Thank Design Privacy for actually having HR at the table. Because one of the first things is that a lot of times, people will see that this is an HR issue, it's an HR problem, and yet HR isn't invited to have a conversation about it.
We know we're experts in the data protection space, and that is it. We defer to other professionals.
So good. So HR is here. I am representing HR, and so we're really glad to be here, and especially to be working on, as you said, this competency model. This is a solution. It's a tool that we can use to help us, to help the DPO world, and to really just push forward for, based on this new law that is in place, this is a necessity. So it has to be done. And therefore, as you said, you're in learning. We need more HR people to learn about this tool, learn about the DPO role, and just learn how they can help themselves.
So I did hear the term competency model before, but I didn't take the time to understand what a competency model is, because I said, why don't we just get an expert to do it? So what is this DPO competency model, and how does it help HR?
Okay, so you keep using that word expert. Now, bother with that with me, I'm HR, I'm a consultant, and yes, okay, I can do and I do competency models. So let's talk about what is a competency model. So a lot of people will think of it in terms of what it is not. It is not a job description. So it does not just define the roles, responsibilities, expectation of somebody in that role of DPO, Data Protection Officer. What it actually does is that it creates the standard for a data protection officer. It says what's the knowledge, the skills, the behaviors, even the values that someone who is going to be successful in the role of data protection officer should possess.
You use that word successful, Tracy, and that's critical, because while it is mandatory and people want to tick boxes, it does serve a larger purpose, and it is necessary that we succeed. So, and I'm very happy and want to amplify that word successful in their position. So we are going to be having a webinar that we're going to announce at the end of the show, where we can dive much deeper. But what are the main critical elements of this foundation, this competency model?
Okay, so a couple things. So any competency model that you have in place, as we said, it needs to be identifying what is excellence in the role. And so it has to be that when somebody actually meets the criteria and the standards that is set forward in this model, it means that they really are at a certain level. But more so, what the competency model does is that it gives you that gradation. It shows you the scale. And so you can use it to assess yourself and determine, am I at the intermediate level? Am I foundational, just kind of starting in, and where are the skills gaps? Or am I really an expert already at this thing? So it helps you to identify exactly where you are, and from an HR perspective especially, it helps you to identify where you need help, where you need support, where you need to actually learn more, and as I said, fill the gaps. So it allows us to do that gap analysis. So that is a critical aspect of any kind of competency model, and it's included in this one.
So, because I can't repeat what you just said, on September 30th.
Yes, September 30th, we'll be hosting a webinar.
And Tracy Wallace, again, is going to be, it's going to be a joint webinar between Tracy's consultancy firm and Design Privacy. And we really want to drill down into how do we use this competency model? Because I don't believe, and Chantal knows this, I don't believe in doing things for doing sake. So we have a pretty competency model document, but the question is, how are we to use this?
Absolutely.
Because yes, it sounds nice, and if you have downloaded it, there are a lot of pretty pictures and pretty colors, but how do we use it? And that is what we're going to walk through. And we promise at the end of that webinar, you will be equipped and confident to know exactly what you are looking for. And we may even throw a job description in there, because the competency model is not, as Tracy would have said, is not a job description.
Right. This sounds a little bit more like a workshop, though, Chuck. Are you sure it's a webinar?
I don't know. Come to learn, prepare to leave confident in the knowledge that you have received. So, webinar, workshop.
Right. So, if you are interested in attending the workshop, you could email us at info@designprivacy.io, and then you'll get all the details. Just a gentle reminder, you can download the Data Protection Officer Competency Framework at designprivacy.io. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at design_privacy, and also connect with us on LinkedIn at Design Privacy. Stay informed and stay secure.
Data Protection Matters was brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
Attention seniors! Great news! Your September 2024 social pension payment is now available for collection. Simply check your text messages to confirm your payment details. For more information, call 876-922-8007 or visit the ministry's website mlss.gov.jm. The Social Pension Program, caring for our elders. A message from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, providing opportunity, stability, and social protection.
We can light up your world with the rays of the sun, putting pure energy in the palm of your hand.
For over 20 years, Fosrich has been putting a world of energy in your hands. Now we bring you big savings with our line of solar energy products and LED lighting. Financing now available for all your home and commercial retrofit projects. Consult with our in-house staff or certified professional engineers for all your electrical needs. Fosrich Lifestyle. It's electric. Fosrich, your energy world.
Tie your laces, put on something purple, and support the CIBC Caribbean Walk for the Cure. Join us at Hope Gardens on Sunday, October 6th at 6 a.m. We're walking, running, and moving in the fight against cancer. Sign up today at runningeventsja.com. Registration fee $3,000 includes your Walk for the Cure t-shirt while supplies last. CIBC Walk for the Cure, Sunday, October 6th, 6 a.m. at Hope Gardens. All proceeds in aid of the Jamaica Cancer Society.
A Healthier You is brought to you by Express Fitness, your goal or mission, and Horton's Pharmacy, a family tradition of dispensing and caring for 100 years.
8:43 on this Tuesday morning, Tuesday, September 24, 2024. Yeah, nice ring to it. You're still with Nationwide this morning, and we have one more interview to go before we get to the birthday segment. So it's A Healthier You, and consultant urologist Dr. Jeremy Thomas joins me this morning to talk about prostate cancer as we observe Prostate Awareness Month. And Dr. Thomas, are you there? Good morning.
Yes, good morning. I am here. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. All right. Give me some numbers around prostate cancer in Jamaica. What's the prevalence rate now? And are we seeing even younger men presenting with the problem?
Right. So we are seeing younger men present with prostate cancer, and that has always been the case. Our prevalence, I can give you figures from as late as 2020, and I think they're pretty similar now. In terms of the number of new cases, we have probably over 1,500 new cases of prostate cancer per year. And in terms of deaths from prostate cancer, approximately somewhere over 800. Global College, which is a worldwide epidemiology source, actually quoted number of deaths has been 844, I believe, in 2020. And as I said, the number of new cases or cases being diagnosed was over 1,500, 1,561. So quite common.
Yeah. Of the 1,500 plus new cases, what's the age distribution right there? How old are or how young are these people?
So these people are within the 5th to 6th decades of life. I'd say, actually 6th to 7th. But what we do find is that we find a significant number of younger patients, so meaning patients in their 50s and in their 40s, unfortunately actually presenting with prostate cancer. But I think that the majority of cases would be patients within their 6th to 7th decade of life. So 60s, 70s is where we see probably the highest prevalence.
The screening for prostate cancer has always been something that has been talked up. And I want you to tell me, Dr. Thomas, how effective is the screening in terms of finding out early and early detection and early treatment, meaning that your chance of escaping the worst of the disease and living a normal life are significantly enhanced. Give me the numbers around that if you can.
All right. Right. So in terms of, I don't know if I can give you numbers, but I can probably give you an approximation in terms of sensitivity and specificity.
Yes.
But what I would say is that the screening tools that we have that are available in Jamaica, which would involve a simple blood test, where we test for this enzyme called PSA, which stands for prostatic specific antigen, and that's combined with an examination of the prostate. The sensitivity and specificity is pretty high, upwards of 80%. For sure, if we had men adhering to our screening protocol, I think that we would have probably upwards of 90% of our men presenting with early disease, which is completely curable. But unfortunately, the situation that we have in Jamaica now is where I think up to 50% of our men present with advanced disease, and so that disease is not curable. So, we're looking at containing it and controlling it.
Can the body do without the prostate, Dr. Thomas? It may seem like a lame, it's the most layman of questions,
Sure.
but there's a reason to ask it. Yeah.
So that's a good question. The body can do without the prostate. However, there are significant functions that the prostate is responsible for. It's a very important part of the male reproductive system. So without the prostate, fertility would be severely challenged. It actually produces about, say, 20% of fluid to the semen, and is important in terms of nourishment for the sperm. So definitely aids in fertility. It also plays a role with regards to continence, which is controlling your urine. And amongst other functions, it also plays a role in converting your, or enabling testosterone to be converted into a much more active form, which has multiple actions throughout the entire body. So you can live without it. But in terms of growth and development and your reproductive ability, that would be significantly affected.
Right. And so, Dr. Thomas, at the point when you screen and your results come back and there's a problem detected, is it that the system is set so that when the problem is detected, immediately the patient is given guidance as to how to proceed with treatment, or they then have to take those test results and go to another specialist to say, well, these are the test results, what do I do from here? How does it work?
No. So, I mean, in terms of making the diagnosis of prostate cancer, that's done by a biopsy. So that's getting tissue, small pieces of tissue from the prostate that's sent to the lab. And it's read by the pathologist. Once that diagnosis is made, we usually send them for additional tests to stage the disease, which is, in other words, determine if the disease is just confined to the prostate or if it is outside of the prostate, just outside, or if it's spread elsewhere in the body. And then that now will determine who actually appropriately treats the patient. But once the patient is with a urologist, treatment can usually be administered. There are other options, though, and there are some who opt for radiation therapy, so that would be a radiation oncologist, that specialist. And of course, if it's advanced disease, then our oncologist would be on board. So our hematologist, our oncologist specialist will also be on board in terms of helping to manage that patient.
Yeah. On the point of the National Health Fund card program, what does that cover where testing for prostate cancer is concerned?
So I believe in recent times it covers the PSA test, that's the simple blood test,
yes,
to detect the enzyme that's produced only by the prostate. In terms of, the NHF is not yet covering in terms of biopsies, which would be the other important tenet of screening. But for now, as far as I'm aware, I think I remember hearing the Prime Minister touched on that. They're now covering PSA testing on the NHF card, or certainly it should be subsidized.
Yeah.
I don't want you to quote on that, but as far as I know, the blood test is covered.
That's fine. All right. As we draw to, we're in the dying embers of prostate cancer, Prostate Awareness Month. Your words of encouragement to men over 45, over 47, and who are at risk of the disease, sure, in terms of what they should do to prevent, what they should do to screen, and even those who have the disease, how do they treat?
Sure. So my words of encouragement would be firstly to advise that, prostate cancer is not like other cancers. Cancer usually means death to people, but prostate cancer is quite curable. A high chance of curing this disease and living the rest of your life once it's detected early. However, I would caution that we live in a high-risk society. The risk factors are non-modifiable, meaning that as you ask, what can be done to prevent prostate cancer? As such, as that can be done to prevent it. Because what we've noted is that men of African descent, as you get older, and if you have a family history, we think there's a genetic involvement. So certainly if you have several members of the family that have different cancers, there may be some genetic components, so it's not exactly preventable. So we advise that you come in and get yourself checked early. The tests are not as invasive as they're made to seem. You can even start with a simple blood test. And remember in doing this, when you're in saving your life, you're not just living for yourself, you're living for your families, your kids. Society needs you. So come in and get tested. You're saving a life, and also it's not just for you. It is for your family, your friends, everybody around you who depends on you. So I'd encourage you, get tested early. We advocate that you start at age 40, and then on a yearly basis, you should get yourself checked. It's a matter of 5 minutes. The blood test is pretty much painless. It's a quick test. The results come back, and you have a good discussion.
Excellent.
That's your time saves 9.
Very well, sir. Dr. Jeremy Thomas, consultant urologist, talking to us this morning. Thank you, Dr. Thomas. All the best to you.
And thank you for having me too, and you're most welcome.
All right, sir. Excellent. Dr. Jeremy Thomas there with words of guidance for you as we observe Prostate Awareness Month in this September. Birthdays after these.
A Healthier You was brought to you by Express Fitness, your goal or mission, and Horton's Pharmacy, a family tradition of dispensing and caring for 100 years.
This could be your year to build with an NHT loan. Find out more at nht.gov.jm. The time by NHT is
8:53.
The Birthday Club is brought to you by Popeye's Wings. Try the 6-piece combo today for only $1,395. Wing the alarm!
I've had a lot of big dreams. I've made a lot of bad moves. I know you could walk away, but you never do. I've met a lot of cold hearts. I've learned to smile and deceive. I know I'm hard to be around, but you never leave. And I'm not easy to understand, but you hold out your hand and you say you love me just as I am. You always treat me the best that you can. You say you want me, need me, love me, baby, just as I am.
That time of the morning when we tell some very special people happy birthday. Happy birthday greetings going out to our friends on Facebook. Granville Valentine, happy birthday to you.
NWU?
That's right.
Morning, my friend. Granville Valentine. Happy birthday to you, fashion boss. Granville Valentine. Hope you have a good day.
Hope you have a really good one as well. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday as well to Mijan Webster, Shan, Mika Shaylin Lee. Happy birthday. Happy birthday as well to Makita Smith, Myrna Loy Brown, Tashana Hansen, Shakara Roxanne. Happy birthday as well to Junior Norman, Taya Sobless Henry, Aishika Punal, Judith Bodley. Happy birthday to you. It's your birthday. Happy birthday as well to Nadine Hale Anderson. Hope you guys have a really good one. Also on the birthday list, this one is a very, very important birthday. Belated birthday greetings going out to Hortense Levy Henlon, 100 years old.
Yeah!
Indeed.
100!
Happy birthday to you. She's from Sherwood Content in Trelawney. The greetings coming from your granddaughter Donna Johnson and a host of other family members and friends. Happy birthday to you.
The top of bold place, Sherwood Content.
Yeah. Happy birthday greetings also going out to, is this Seria Morris? Hope I'm pronouncing this right. 12 years old today. Happy birthday to you. The greetings coming from your father, Pixie Morris, and your mom, Annetta Wilmot Morris, and your sister, Gabrielle Morris, and your uncles and your aunts, and all of your other family members. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a really good day as well. Going on over to the YouTube chat. Not seeing any birthdays yet. If you had posted earlier, asking you just to repost. But those are the birthdays for now. Happy birthday to you if you're celebrating your birthday. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you as well. I do see two here. Herman, hey to you, Herman, sending belated happy birthday to her friend, Casey and Paige in St. Mary. She says, hope you will see many more birthdays. Happy birthday to you, Casey. And Herman also sending happy birthday greetings to her friend, Shernet Kidd Edwards of Guys Hill in St. Catherine, wishing for her a wonderful birthday. May you have a fabulous one. So happy birthday to you, Shernet Kidd Edwards from Herman.
The Birthday Club was brought to you by Popeye's Wings. Try the 6-piece combo today for only $1,395. Wing the alarm!
Some final ones before we get out of here. Stephen Dixon sending happy birthday greetings to my gorgeous friend, Tonian Blake from NCB. Happy birthday to you, Tonian. Juan Barrington sending happy birthday greetings, he says, to our little princess, Gamelia Gianna Drackett, coming from mom and dad's. Happy birthday to you. And Angela James sending happy birthday greetings to Madge Codner. And Margot sending belated happy birthday to her niece, Jodian Williams, who celebrated on the 22nd. So belated birthday greetings to you, Jodian. Hope it was a good one. And Juliet Campbell sending happy 87th birthday to Agatha Kelly. Again, those are all the birthdays. Happy birthday to you. If you're celebrating your special day today, if it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you. And that's about it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nationwide this morning. To our technical operator, Jermaine King, thanks to you. Thanks as well to our super producer, Michelle McRae Smith, our editor, Kimon Thompson. Up next, the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton, and at 10, Cliffy's Online. I'm Tawna Thomas.
My name is George.
Good morning.
You've just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.